All right, we are live. Go ahead and count them down.
All right, everyone, let's get the first qual session of CTWC counted down. We're going to start from 5. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris!
Buko.
So over here on CT1, we'll be having Eric Redshirt, Cheese, and DMJ.
Yeah, it should be. It's a, like I said, a minute ago before we went live, it's objectively the smallest qualifying period of the day, right? Most people opting to qualify later, but still some heavy hitters here, Sharky, right? A former world champ, the innovator of rolling there on the bottom left, Cheese. It should be, could be a good run.
Yeah, it's going to set the tone for what things are going to be like at this year's World Championship, because it is going to be a bigger one than last year, which when we put last year in the context with all the things that happened, to say that this year again is still wild on its own, and for it to be just completely true.
Yeah, the lead organizer of the tournament, Vince Clemente, he was telling me at one point, hey, this is my goal every year. Like, make it the biggest tournament ever and then somehow outdo ourselves the next year. And I think it's going to absolutely live up to the hype this year.
Speaking about things living up to the hype, we have DMJ going with level 19 starts, while everyone else is starting with level 18 for the first game. Now, there is a strategy difference between level 18 and level 19, Burb.
Yeah, there is. With the level 19, you get the faster, right? The pieces fall faster, so it is objectively a bit harder to play. But at the same time, at the highest levels of Tetris, you get the chance to basically squeeze out a couple more games since the pieces are falling faster. The games are shorter; they go faster. So that's kind of what DMJ is banking on here, just trying to make sure that he can consistently hit max out after max out. And hey, who knows? Maybe this year we'll see the perfect, 17 max run. Maybe,
Yeah, I mean, we already seen the perfect 9 from me back at the Genesis tournament.
Yeah.
And so that already sets the stage for what we could see. Now, I believe the highest qual that we have seen at a CTWC event was Scooty's qual last year. I can't remember if he got a kicker, but I do know it was 16 maxes.
Yeah, he did have the #1 seed last year, and had a very impressive run himself. So I'm sure he'll be looking to have another good run as well this year.
Yeah, and of course, if you are watching right now, I definitely think that you should check out IGN. There is something special for you if you want to check out IGN.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll leave it a surprise for you, right, to find out yourself.
We'll leave it a surprise for you, but definitely check out IGN. But that being said, we do have all of our games decently underway. Of course, DMJ further ahead in lines than the rest due to the level 19 start. 295 for DMJ, 241 and 240 for for Cheese and Redshirt respectively, and Eric at 148.
Yeah, looking pretty solid so far. Pretty efficient games all around. Eric having a little bit of struggles early on, but, it's the early game. We got a couple hours, and we, certainly a chance to just put up some sort of score and then give yourself that baseline, right? Like, okay, I have some score in. This is my target. Let me at least, if it's not a max, at least get the kicker, right? Get your kicker. Give yourself a good tiebreaker, even if it's like an 8 or a 900K. It could be beneficial for seeding.
And, of course, being able to, this is their first official game of the qualifying session, and so maybe it's like the game, you warm up and you get settled into things. Not to mention, this is the earliest qual session, so maybe players, have to wake up a little bit after. It is a possibility.
Yeah, and and certainly too, for a lot of the players, as the first qualifying spot, the way I always looked at it is, you're the one that gets to set the tone, right? You're not. It's not like the later slots where they already know what they have to get. You get to be the benchmark, right? Of hey, if you want to make the bracket, you got to beat me, right? So it's kind of always an interesting sort of, it's an interesting mindset to see, what specific time slots players choose for their qualifying session, whether they go earlier or later. So these people certainly going to be setting the tone.
Yeah. Real quick, while we are waiting on these players to get started, wanted to thank Abby. Hold on one second. Want to thank Abby for a $75 contribution to the Matcherino, and Def5 for a $30 contribution to the Matcherino, with a comment that says, "Shout out to Hank Rogers and Alexei Pachinov." Of course, without them, there would be no Tetris.
Oh yeah, we would not be here.
We would not be here.
I wouldn't even know who you are.
Yeah. It's crazy to think how this game has brought people literally all around the world. Because I think one thing I do want to share, and they won't be qualifying today, but they will be playing in TGM later. Green Tea and Corion are at this year's CTWC for a first time since 2019.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing them at setup yesterday. Yeah, they are just as, bundles of joy as ever, man. It's going to be really fun to watch them later. And, I watch them tomorrow, right, when they go to qualify. So that's going to be, it's going to be a blast, man.
I really am curious to see how the TGM goes because Green Tea is one of the few TGM4 Grandmasters now.
Yeah.
Which
wow.
it was only going to be a matter of time.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played TGM4 yet, the Master Mode is brutal.
Yeah, I've played it once, and I lasted probably about 5 seconds. it was bad.
It is. I don't want to spoil too much, but your Tetris blocks will be frozen at various points in it, and the strategy involved is tremendous when you start talking about those higher levels.
Yeah, but speaking of higher levels, Sharky, we got DMJ past the 19, and Redshird and Eric ICX have made it to 19 as well. Some decent paces. Eric has actually brought it back a little bit. It's back up to about a 50% rate, so certainly maxout's still on the table if they can get a deep run into 29 going.
Yeah, and of course, all these players on this main stage are rolling, so there is 29 playability. So even if they don't necessarily max in the 29, there's still the chance for them to get that max while playing through the 29 higher speeds.
Yeah.
The only thing that it's going to cost them is, a couple more seconds or, you know.
Time. Yeah, that's the big thing there. Yeah, you lose out on some of the time. So obviously, and that's kind of the strategy for the players too, right? People like DMJ who are starting on 19, right? If you can play so efficiently that you get the max out, like say level 26, 27, like that's going to save you precious seconds, right? To be able to start another game, because when the timer runs out, like you're able to continue the game that you're already, like if you're already in a game when time runs out, you can continue and finish that game. So being able to fire off that last game at the end in a couple hours from now, that's going to be crucial.
And I think it's another thing to point out that this isn't like when you're playing on your preferred setup at your house. So then players might have ways, like a Game Genie code, to like bypass the rocket screen. You're playing on the original Tetris cartridge here. So once you get over that 30,000 points, you have to sit through that rocket screen.
Yep.
And sometimes sitting through that rocket screen has been make or break for players of getting that one last game.
Right.
So then if you can save seconds anywhere, because rocket screen can be like 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can save those extra couple of seconds to give you more time, the better.
Yeah, speaking of saving time, DMJ right there. He's one off. 990 his score at level 27. Can he get the first max out of the day? He's getting droughted. And there it is, max out for DMJ, and he's going to strike first. Get the first max out here at CTWC 2025.
Level 28, a max into level 28 too.
Yeah, and this is what we were just talking about, right? Saving those few extra seconds. He saved, those 10 lines, being able to not having to play them out, right? And just topping out. And there you go. Just like that, he is underway for his second game of the night.
We have our 3 players, redshirt right here, trying to fight for survival. Of course, at this point, if redshirt's able to get the board down to the bottom, still might be able to get really close to a max, but 29 playability might be required. And she's going to have a top out at 817, so raise the hand, going to submit the kicker.
Yeah.
So from this point forward, she's just aiming for maxes. Meanwhile, Eric has made quite the comeback in terms of pace.
Yeah, they've really turned things around, certainly could actually max out into 29, provided the pieces cooperate, but, so far they're not. That's a misdrop of an L piece. Oh, boy. And Barf, there's the dirty Tetris for Eric.
Great maneuverability there and able to find the necessary pieces to at least open up that dirty Tetris well. Going to try and go for the delayed split double.
Yeah, and they got to get this down quick because we are approaching level 29. 6 lines to go. This is rough, and that'll be a kicker, 908. And will surpass Cheese, if nothing else.
You saw that Eric wanted to get that T piece all the way over to the left, so that was a piece that he needed in order to get that burn. And unfortunately, was unable to do so.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sharky Redshirt has got the second max out of the tournament here. Had to go to level 30 to get it, but was able to line it out, get it done, and there you go. Now tied with DMJ at 1 max out apiece.
Yeah, but DMJ also 40 lines into that another level 19 star game, so you're already seeing the strategy play out in real time.
Yeah, and it's so far at least paying off for DMJ, and again running a bit of a drought right now, but certainly he's a pro, made the top 8 last year at the World Championship, and, certainly has the ability to survive this situation.
Of course, if you are watching on YouTube or watching on Twitch, we do have more action. We have CT2, which has Armstrong, Bland, Brodendamp, and Hydrant Dude. CT3, or Classic Tetris 3 on Twitch, which has Poyo, Shake, T-Storm, Tyler. And Classic Tetris 4, which has Aofi, Kira Dev, Rose, and Storm and Norman.
Yeah. It's actually pronounced Aoife.
Oh, Aoife. My bad.
Yeah.
Well, Aoife. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Burb.
Yeah, of course.
So we
right,
have.
We got to fact check each other, right? That's it.
Yeah. And Nestor's Champs is. We got a 1.3 for red shirt on level 18. This is all kinds of pace lines.
Yeah, that is the biggest pace of all time. That's world record shattering. Oh, man. But yeah, and of course for the CT2 broadcast again with Bland and Armstrong and Hydra Dude and Broden Damp, that is of course called by Ronkley and Meme, right? One of our top players, and honestly one of the hottest players right now, in terms of progression, right? And of course you can also catch that on YouTube at the CTWC archive channel, right? We are trying that out this year. Getting more action on YouTube for all you lovely fans out there.
Yeah, so you'll be able to get that Classic Tetris 2 action. You won't have to wait till the polished videos comes out, but you're still going to watch the polished videos because
they're very well done. So
and at the end you'll get the signature lore drops, so extra context that you might not be able to get during commentary because there's so much going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But it looks like all players are in fact underway here.
Of course, we got DMJ right now at about the 100-line mark here. So, as someone like King would call it, the Joey Parker turn. He is at about 277. I mean, he's been playing decently, fine. It's not like he's necessarily been in danger of topping out. Even right now, I wouldn't say he's in danger of topping out, given his rolling abilities. But he's just been having to burn a lot. And now he's in trouble.
That is a crazy commentator's curse. That is insane.
Wow.
That is.
Jeez, stop listening to me, man. Stop listening to me. Just play your game.
That is a Fractals level of commentary curse.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Just sitting here watching that and just watching it was like a train wreck in motion. I was like, Burb, stop. It's going to – it just kept on.
Yeah, as soon as I shouldn't have said anything.
But I think that also illustrates another good thing about the level 19 starts is because it's so fast, you're able to get more games. So even if you do have a game that ends up like that, well, the amount of time that you spend on level 19,
make up for it.
Yeah, you have time to make up for it. Whereas level 18, you're spending maybe 4.5, depending on if you push down to 5 minutes to get to that level 19 point.
Yeah, and of course the point values on 19. I don't think we specifically brought this up, but because we probably think if it goes out saying, but we should probably say it anyway. It is worth more points. Right? All the Tetris on 19 worth more points than the 18, right? So certainly. That also contributes to being able to max out quicker, right, than you would with an 18 start, since, just inherently you're scoring more points early on. And there we go. There's a big, dirty Tetris right there for DMJ, right, just to earn him all those extra points.
Yeah, still trying to get the board just down under control. And right now it looks like Cheese, Redshirt, and Eric are all on similar paces.
Yeah, because they all kind of had their game endings and around the same time, right? Cheese with his 800K and Eric with their 900K, right? And then it was Redshirt getting his first max out of the day here shortly after.
Yeah, and as you can see, real time, we do have our leaderboard being updated. Shout out to our judges and, of course, our scorekeepers helping. Oh, DMJ gonna have to do another soft reset there.
Yeah.
But shout out to them getting that update. It looks like there is 4 players that have maxed so far.
Yeah, of course, Broden Damp and Bland as well, as you can see there over on CT2. Again, just a reminder, have them both open, right? Have us all open. Have more Tetris than you can handle. That's nonsense. That's a nonsense saying.
So real quick, while these players are getting things stacking away, we got 2 more contributions to the prize pool from Troy Den, $50 contribution, and from Drumstick, also a $200 contribution. Let's get this prize pool going. Love from Belgium.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, currently up, and you can see on the bottom right of your screen there, yeah, we're at about $400, of course. If you like what you're seeing, definitely make sure you contribute. And, Sharky, do we have any of the codes to redeem, or have they all been redeemed, all the claim codes?
Yeah, all the claim codes have been redeemed.
Awesome.
Way back whenever we did, I think that was the Reckoning.
Oh, that's right. Okay, it must have happened night 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's good stuff right there. Glad those have all been redeemed. But, yeah, of course, if you like what you're seeing, any amount helps, right? Any amount helps, raise the prize pool for our players. They put in a lot of hard work, and I think they're very deserving of it. So, and of course, meanwhile, speaking of our players putting in the work, Eric putting in the work right now, along with Cheese. They have both reached the 19. Cheese at level 21 is going to have to put in some work here to potentially max this out has been having some burning to do, and is unfortunately dealing with the drought at kind of the worst time.
Yeah, drought continues to grow from here. 27, able to find that long bar, so still with a Tetris 30 board. Redshirt with, it looks like a 600,000 transition.
Yeah, definitely a very efficient 18 game. Eric hits a Tetris, goes 6-15, so certainly on a decent pace here. That 30% definitely is not correct. But either way, is playing pretty efficiently here. Certainly, all three of our players that have reached the post-transition on pace to potentially get another max out here. And in the case of Eric and Cheese, they're first. Meanwhile, DMJ still kind of chilling here, 19 speed. And again, this is limited time, right? So players do be doing their thing, trying to send it. As we are continuing to race along here, Cheese trying to up the pace as, certainly probably, we're probably looking at some 29 play on Cheese's side if he's going to try to get the first max out of the day here.
But honestly, the pace recovery has been quite impressive because I think we were looking at, 480 at level 22?
Yeah.
And to bring that to 734, which mathematically speaking, if Cheese plays perfect, this actually can be maxed.
Could do it, yeah.
Before 29.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a crazy synchronization there.
Yeah. Same brain cell. Mom said it was my turn with the brain cell. Oh, man, speaking of brain cells, though, Eric going to need something to get out of this mess for sure. It's definitely not the cleanest of boards.
And Redshirt, look at this game, 917. Make that 947.
Oh, yeah.
We are looking at
before 26?
Yeah, we are looking at a 25 max.
Yeah, let's see. There's a long bar, but not Tetris ready. Yeah, keep your eyes on this. Eric in trouble.
Eyepiece, actually, hold on. There is a way that this is salvageable.
No, not going to happen. But meanwhile, Redshirt Sharky is just one Tetris away.
Looks like we'll get a max into level 26.
Provided the bar shows. And there it is. Boom, Tetris for Redshirt. And the max out.
Second max on the board.
And this is huge. I mean, again, we were talking about it earlier. This is huge for time, right? Is able to save literally 3 levels of play. And plus, right, you remember his first one didn't happen to level 30, so that was a really strong way to make up for that lost time there. Wow, excellently done there by Redshirt. That is max out number 2 on the board.
And Cheese on level 30. That left side is not going to be accessible.
But he will up his kicker, right? He had about an 800K before, and now is going to up that to a 914. So certainly, again, once he does get the maxes flowing, right, that's going to be, this game will still be helpful.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is that it is still early on in the qual session. I think we're 2 games in for Redshirt.
Yeah.
So, and we're, I think, a couple games in for DMJ, who just reached transition. DMJ, of course, playing level 19 start. So we got plenty of time. That's the interesting thing about this format is that it is both a marathon, but you have to be skilled at all parts of it in order for you to guarantee a spot in the gold bracket.
Yeah, and you have to really, you almost have to play a little bit safe. Like at least in terms of the top players, you almost have to play a bit safe just to, instead of trying to send it for like, a 1.2, 1.3, 1.6 or whatever, they're even, all these crazy high scores, right? They have to just make sure that they stay alive and that they're able to get the max out and not go too aggressive for it. Not go too aggressive for a higher score because it's not needed here. But speaking of which, DMJ having to do a bit of burning.
About, I want to say a level ahead of pace, maybe be able to extend that more. Because generally, if you're looking for that max and not having to go extremely ham in the last 3 levels, you're going to want like 800K going into 26. The closer you can get to 800K going into 26, the better. That is a hang on the left-hand side. It's going to prevent a Tetris from being scored until another long bar is received. And now it's, okay, good. J-piece dependent.
Yeah, that was a good game. There's the J. And now it's fixed up. There's the Tetris DFJ. 767. Still having a pretty hot game here. And there we go. Yeah, and we were talking about the 800K benchmark into 26. We're there at before even 25, so certainly could get another early one here.
Yeah, but with that being said, things are now kind of chill here.
Yeah, things are pretty chill. And yeah, besides DMJ's side, again, as he is approaching, right, the later levels of this game and approaching the max out as well, right? About 100 and change away.
Still long bar dependent over there in column 3. And, ooh, I like the way that
Nice,
that's solved.
yep.
Couple of S's, so just going to have to go for the split double, bring the stack back down to the bottom.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of what I was talking about, right? Like, you know, not trying to go too aggressive for a higher score. Just keep it safe. Make sure you get it, right? Don't top out early, right, and not get it. That's, you know.
Yeah, I think that is also one of the more challenging things is that obviously we talked about the speeds earlier in the qual session, but then one of the bigger concerns is if you are on a game like this where it is max possible before 29 and you go too aggressive and then you end up topping out and doesn't even beat your kicker, you're talking about, depending on what level you start the game, you're talking anywhere from 6 to 7 minutes
like
of wasted time.
Yeah. But here we go. He's about a Tetris and some change off. Has got 2 more on the table, so could still get it before 29 easily. And there we go. There's long way. There's the Tetris, and just a few burns. Take the triple. There it is, right at a 29. And that is max out number 2 for DMJ on the board. Man, so there you go. And he did exactly what he needed to do. I actually really liked that he knew, like, oh, I'm only a few burns away. Let me just take the triple, because even on 28, the triple's still worth a fair number of points,
Yeah,
right?
it's worth
Obviously
9,000.
Yeah, so even not as much as the Tetris, but it was enough. And you know, the awareness was good there.
Speaking about awareness, we need to be aware of another Matcherino contribution. Thank you so much, Cody Bolin, for a $250 contribution to the prize pool.
Wow, that's a big one. That's huge. There you go. Shout out to Cody. As we are now up to about a $700 prize pool. Again, let's keep it going. Right? Keep this thing going.
We got all weekend long, and of course, I can't foresee what's going to happen, even though I know we're going to see some insane Tetris.
Right.
Because the narratives that have been built up over the past week, she's getting up a bit high.
Yep. Speaking of narratives, right? We're going to build one here. Oh, well, no, maybe just a stack up to the ceiling.
Yeah, just building the top out.
Yeah.
The narrative there is the end.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But there are so many narratives that are building. Obviously, you have Alex T. He's coming to defend his championship. You have Dog, made it to the finals, always been a semifinalist minimum, 2-time world champ. He's looking to be that next player to win a 3rd gold trophy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Jonas has
he really pushed Alex as well in that finals match last year.
Yeah.
Right? It was a really close match all around. And honestly, yeah, I think Dog will be hungry for it for sure.
It's just one game away, and then of course there was, you know, the small issue where the chair, it didn't feel right for him. You know, chairgate.
Chairgate.
As soon as he swapped the chair, that's when he tied things up. Like, if you haven't seen the finals for last year, definitely
check it out
before you know the match action gets started this year. Watch it. I mean, it also features a song at the end by Dog himself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's crazy. Like, is there anything these friggin' kids can't do, man? Like, my God. Right? They're good at Tetris. They're good musicians. Like, it's crazy.
So that being said, you know, that you have that narrative, Dog trying to be, you know, after Joseph, who was the last person to win at least 2 in a row. Or not 2 in a row, but at least win. Joseph was the last person to win 2.
More than 2.
Yeah, more than 2. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of enthralled by some of these stacks that I was seeing. Of course, you know, we get to see what's happening at CT2 or Classic Tetris 2 or the Classic Tetris archives. Yeah. So there's always interesting stuff all around. Yeah, we got these huge screens here at the SoCal Gaming Expo. They're treating us well here, man. Right? You got these giant, you know, LED monitors. Like they're very fancy. They're high tech, and they make a great viewing experience for those here in person, including us. Yeah, and especially like. Shout out to the production because the lighting last year, very cinematic. Lighting this year too. Yeah. I saw how we looked on the commentator's desk. I was like, holy cow, that looks amazing. Amazing, yeah. And honestly, it's less blinding for us too, right? Like I feel like last year the light that we had was, you know, like I was having like squint a bit at times, but this is like it's bright enough, but it's like it's soft enough to where I could just look normally, right? Yeah, I'm able to see all that I need to see and then not have to wear my sunglasses. Yeah. I mean, the sunglasses will be worn. That's the Sharky signature. It's a style choice. Yeah. Oh man. But it's not a necessity. It's not a necessity this year. You know, so if you forget them, man, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. Shoot, people in high school used to always try to clown me. It's like, dude, why are you wearing sunglasses indoors? And it's like, because I can.
Right.
Why? What? Does it offend you?
Right? Hey, at least you're not wearing them a tie. Like, that's the real, move right there, right? That people, I think, should really be making fun of. People that wear them at nighttime outside. Like, that's like, what do you, like, how can you even see anything? Oh, man, we got a transition here on red shirt side. DMJ pretty close to that himself. Again, with the 19 starts, that's going to come up at about 140 lines to the level 20 transition. But, oh, man, both players in a bit of trouble here. DMJ with a nice dirty triple there, but red shirt's still in a bit of a bind up at the top.
Ooh, great burns. Oh, that was fantastic.
Oh, my God. Oh, but didn't make the adjustment for the S. He knows it. And
OCR issue? But that's fine because he's still alive.
Still alive.
Oh, great timing.
Wow. Oh, misdrops the L on the left side, and that'll do it.
Now he got the kicker, though.
Yeah, he's got the kicker. If he chooses to submit it, yeah, and he's going to. Yeah, you got to raise the hand. And Eric going to get the max out, too. In the meantime, while we were watching that, Eric just casually making it to max out city, and that will be, I believe they're first. Yeah, they're first of the session, so nicely done.
Yeah, we got a lot of, surprisingly, a majority of people just looking around from what I can see, majority of people in this qual session, with now the exception of Redshirt, there's been a lot of 18 starts. DMJ and has been one of the few that has gone to level 19 starts throughout the majority of the qual session so far.
Yeah, and again, he's definitely got the skill to do it, right? And I think if you have the level of skill that these players do, like, I think you could definitely do it. And it seems to me like it's knowing DMJ, like it's probably something he's practiced like a lot, even just coming into this, right? Just at home, at his home setup, just like, all right, I'm gonna just practice explicitly, exclusively for if I'm doing a mock qual, I'm doing it on 19, just to see what I could do, right? So that way when I get there, I can save the time. And again, it's paying off. It's really paying off for him so far.
But right now, DMJ 700,000 at 22. Waiting on, oh, wow, that is a healthy drought.
Yeah. Man, did you bring a gauntlet here? Like, what are you doing, man?
Look. Ooh, nice. We get the close-up, the intensity. Yeah. That was one thing that I loved that production did last year that I hope we can do this year is just all the rotating close-ups. Yeah. Because you got to really see just more facial expressions and didn't feel as static.
And the emotion, you really get the emotion with it. Yeah,
wow,
like right
back
here,
to
like,
back.
see,
It's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting another drought.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is disgusting.
That is a DMJ impression of all time. Oh, man. Oh, red shirt trying it. Tops out early. You can't believe it, man.
He's like, come on, give me this long bar. Yes, there we go. We got the long bar. The well is open. Yes, Tetris. Just need 5 more.
He's like, stop. He's like, Sharky, stop, man. Oh, my God. But he is still on phase, right? He's still very much on phase. He just needs a few more, like you said.
But, yeah, 4 Tetrises should be good enough. So we're looking at 3. Yeah, 3. So we're looking at about a 28 max, maybe.
Unless he gets all 3 of them here, but he's going to have to take a couple burns, so not looking like it at this point.
My PB is 600K. I'm not going to qualify it.
Oh, there we go. A couple good burns.
Waiting. I swear, it's just so many droughts. What, did you move to Texas? Hello?
Oh, my God. Come on, man. There we go.
And then imagine getting droughted an entire level. You need 3 Tetrises to max. You get droughted an entire level.
And there we
There's
go,
the max.
level 28. He held on strong, and that's going to be max out number 3 for D of the MJ variety. Meanwhile, we got another player on 19 here. Cheese, innovator of rolling in the house. He is on the 19. He's on a pretty good pace here. 700K at level 22, about to hit level 23 here. So this is going to be one to watch, Sharky.
Yeah, funnily enough, almost the exact same pace that DMJ had around this time.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's taking his time to, get those couple warm-up games in. And honestly, they were pretty good games. Like, they certainly were not bad games by any means. So he's got a good 900K kicker, right? So certainly, should this turn out to be a max out, right? That again, like I said earlier, the kicker will help.
Yeah, and
oh, come on, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Nothing bad has happened yet.
Oh, man.
See, look.
We're like, so on edge now.
Yeah, oh, great burn. See, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
See, and boom, Tetris.
Boom. Yeah, there you go. We all know King would have loved that. The freaking long bar flat. It's his favorite move. So.
Ooh. But I think that another thing, because you talked about like how Cheese needed or could use those games as warm-ups, and I think it's very easy to get desensitized to the level of skill that's on display by these players, because rolling is a very, very precise technique, especially when you're talking about those higher levels. I mean, I'm not a roller, but you have rolled,
I
and
used
so
to be, yeah.
you know how difficult it is to be super precise for an entire duration of a game, because it's not like they're having to maintain a level of precision just, for like 5 minutes. And some of these games, especially in match play, if they're going all the way to level 39, we're talking about a high level of precision for up to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're having to
especially
actively...
with 29, and the competition at least, right? So, yeah, definitely, no, it's very hard to be able to do that. And oftentimes, like, just getting the mechanics right, like, honestly, in some ways, like, call me out for this or whatever, but like, it almost feels like DAO sometimes in the way where it's like, it almost feels random, like, oh man, how did I miss that, like, 5-tab? Like, I did the same thing as before, but Cheese doing the same thing as he's done before, and he's going to get the max out. And the crowd goes wild.
Woo! Yeah. Our players are stacking up. We got more contributions to the Matcherino. Summer B76 with a $76.78 contribution.
Yeah, she's here somewhere. So
Yeah.
Summer B, let's go.
Saying CTWC exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
Very important.
Yeah, no, it is.
And then we also got another contribution, or 1047, saying go dog go, and we'll be seeing dog in session 2. If you're deciding that there's only one session that you could watch today, like you only had enough time to watch a session, session 2 might be that session.
Yeah.
You have so many heavy hitters where it was, even on the organizer side, it was a challenge to find out who to put where. It's like, we want to put you on CT1, but we also, there's other people that could be on CT1
that are
too.
also good enough, that are, well known enough at this point, right? Established is the word I was looking for, right? But speaking of established players, right, we got Eric here on the transition. He's going to be looking for their second max out of the session.
And this is looking incredible as well. 699, make that 725.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty hot one. So again, this is one of those situations, right? If things start to not cooperate, you can see a nice safe double there. Like they definitely have the space to hold out for that, right? And just take the safe burns, right? Do what they got to do. I mean, they're having a very efficient game right now.
Of course, these players, I think that's one of the benefits that having the rocket screen is that rocket screen does allow you to call over the judge for the max, and so then it doesn't get missed, because there are situations where players, because they just get so into it because it's 2 hours of playing, and so then maybe, you just got a max and you're like, oh, whoa, those are some massive hangs over there from Eric.
Oh, my word. Long bar on its way to column 2. Like, my God.
He's bar to column 2.
He's like, what? You talking about me? Oh, man.
So, Red Shirt on yet again another hot game. We're looking at a high 600 transition from him.
Yeah, we're looking at just south of 500K, at least at 130 lines. Right, obviously, it's not the transition technically, but it's at the same point of the game, right, for DMJ. So here we go. Yeah, 458 at, what we would call the transition if it was an 18 start. So, again, right now he's looking pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, DMJ, with 500K, that's certainly still workable here, right? Could certainly up the pace as well. And, oh, no, but hangs a bar in column 9 and gets the next one over. Okay, he's going to be all right.
Just trying to make sure that everyone is awake. Is like, hold on, I don't hear enough noise. Let me just hang a bar real quick. People like start opening their eyes. It's like, whoa, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, it's
all
all
fine. The gasps out in the crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, oh. Yeah, all the crowd noises. But we live for that, man. We live for all that. So.
We live for the extra drama. Ooh.
Oh.
I was hoping to see that Z spin tuck on Red Shirt.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was trying to hold on for the T-spin. Oh, there it is, a few pieces later. So, of course, in the meantime, right, again, DMJ and Red Shirt both on pretty good paces here, right, trying to reach Max Out City once more, right? They each have more than two. Actually, yeah, DMJ has 3. That is not updated, but on the leaderboard. But, yeah, it's DMJ going for his 4th. red shirt, I believe the third.
Covers the ball right as the bar shows up. Unfortunate timing.
We're at 7:05 here for DMJ. There we go, another Tetris.
Over 800 now.
So yeah, definitely has made up some ground, right, for sure. It was like a little bit like not that he had a bad pace going into level 20 and beyond, but like it was a little bit like okay, maybe step on it a little bit to try and get it before 29.
Yeah, help save some extra time as Redshirt is looking to save a lot of time with this one.
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh, great delay burn, but poor. Nice. There's the
the
bar for the
Tetris. Wow, are we gonna see another max out into 26 or even earlier?
No, it's going to be like a 20.
Oh my God.
Almost a 25 max. I think you would need a triple.
Yeah. Oh man, but
there's
guess what,
the
Sharky?
double.
Game's not giving it to him.
And there
we
it is.
go.
Max out for
Max out
Redshirt.
again into 26. And it's max out number 3, right? 3?
I believe so.
Yeah. I'm like, man, there's so many max outs happening. I'm already starting to lose count. So you're gonna have to keep me in check here, man. That's But speaking of losing count of maxes, DFJ looking to lose count here as we are on level 26 on his side, or at 875. There's a Tetris.
3 Tetrises more. Oh,
Nice.
great pieces for the stack.
Yeah, very. I mean, yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's got, he really has the good fundamentals.
Yeah.
And he's
Total opposite of last level 27, where not a single
nothing
bar.
showed up for him. Yeah.
I think that's like one of the worst feelings to have while playing for me personally is where I'm playing clean on 19 and I just go a full level without a long bar.
Yeah, and there we go. He's gonna max right there.
Especially on the later levels, because a full level of like 3 Tetrises, that's almost 100,000 points that get added to your score.
Yes, there you go. That is max at number 4 for the man with 3 first names, DMJ.
All right, we are back to another comp. Everyone's on the beginning of the game. She's just transitioned, so he's not quite at the beginning, but just transition.
The beginning of the post-transition.
Yeah,
right?
the beginning of the post-transition.
Right, you gotta save it, sure. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say the whole time. That's
Like, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that the audience is paying attention,
Right.
right? Because it's easy to just get lost in the magnificence of the Tetris.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure that they're aware.
Oh man. Yeah, so there you go. But so you passed. That's what I'm trying to say. Is you all passed. There we go. Tetris Cheese at 566. We're on level 20 on his side, as he is just south of the max out pace into 29. Certainly.
A couple of Tetrises here on level 21 certainly help.
Yeah, certainly would would certainly help him get back on that pace. But of course, game says go fish, so no bar showing off right now, as it often tends to do.
Yeah, this is a 37 and counting drought.
Okay, we're at 40 at this point, and
there
finally it shows up. I'm telling you, you brought Gauntlet here, man.
Hey, I like that sly reference you said, go fish, because before cheese was just known as cheese, it used to be cheese fish.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's what the game often says. You got any bars? Go fish. It often tells all of us. But Cheese starting to find him again, right? Right, the game has decided, oh, actually, no, I do have some bars. Here you go. Right, not when you can use them, but, here's some bars. But he's still in a good pace here, 7:03 at level 24, as he is working his way to max out city. He's at about a 58% rate, so definitely could still max out before 29. All right, and right now that is kind of where all eyes are at the moment, at least if you're watching here at CT1 on Twitch or YouTube, or here in person at the SoCal Gaming Expo in Pasadena, California. I'd say sunny, but it's actually not super sunny today. It's a little overcast, but it's a nice day. It's nice chill morning. But, oh, Cheese with a couple hangs. That's not so chill. Mechanics had no chill there, and at 7:68 he is finished and is going to look to start another game. And meanwhile, for Eric up at the top, they've transitioned. We're at 660 on their side. We're at level 21. So, again, another really hot game for Eric in early phases of the 19 speed.
All right, we are currently 38 minutes into our qual session. It's 2 hours.
Yep.
So first 38 minutes feels like it's been a lot of action that has already happened already.
Well, I mean, there has been, right?
Yeah.
There really has been. Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's more
but there's
like
still
a
over an
marathon.
hour to come. There's.
It's a marathon. These players having to play, lights on the stage. It's a little bit chilly in here.
Yeah.
You know, made sure to bring my jacket.
Right. Well, I mean, better than yesterday when we were setting up.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, it legit felt like Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not a compliment.
Most times, it's not a compliment.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, no, we'll chill. You know, yeah, they got to get used to the environment. You know, but that's the point we're trying to make here, right? You got to use the environment. You know, and it's been a while, right? And you know, as we start to approach the hour mark, Sharky, you know, you almost got to wonder, like, are players going to try to take a break? Or are they going to just keep going? I think our top players here will likely keep going. But, you know, I know back, you know, when I played even when I was on stage, I was, you know, the 1 year I ended up being like, you know what, I was having a particularly frustrating qualifying session. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to just take a break early. It was like 45 minutes, you know, just take a break, go to the bathroom, you know, just take a breather, you know, rest the head, right? And, you know, just, you know, come back fresh and, you know, be ready to go, you know. So we'll see how that pans out for these players, whether they decide to, you know, take, because that's the thing, you have 2 hours, you could use it however you want, right? Like, you want to just go, you know, go screw around for like 15 minutes, like, do it, I guess. Like, you know, it's your time.
It's your time. It's up to you. You're qualifying.
You know, but speaking of qualifying, Eric looking pretty good here. 950. We're looking at a pretty early max out here for him if they can get a couple more touches. Just one off at this point.
Is it bad my brain defaulted to a Vitz there?
Jeez.
I saw it and I was like,
yeah, you're a war criminal, man. And there we go. Tetris Eric. And they'll be on the board with another max at level 27. Again, saving that precious time.
So, yes, joining me with comms, because I see some questions in the chat. Joining me on comms is, in fact, Burb Wizard, the Wizard of Burbs.
The one, the only. Yeah. yeah. Not Cox Danny J, right? He's not the real Burb Wizard. It's me. So. Right. He's like, oh, I'm the real Burb Wizard, guys. I've got my parrot. That's not really a good impression of me, but you know what? That's my voice for today.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Right. So I'm sure he would. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be all up in arms with me later, but you know, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, I am the Burb Wizard, host of the Monday Night Show. If you've heard my voice, that's probably where you've heard it before, right on this channel on Monday nights. So.
Yeah, Monday Night Mayhem.
Yeah, exactly.
Every Monday at 5 p.m. Central. Tune in for Tetris action.
Yeah, we call that a shameless plug, so thank you for that.
Yeah. But if it's our own show, is it really a shameless plug, though?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you know what? I'll roll with that. I like that logic. I'll roll with it.
We're just simply providing more avenues for
people
the
to
audience
watch
to consume more Tetris.
Yeah.
Because CTWC happens once a year, but Monday Night Mayhem happens
weekly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weekly.
Not this Monday, but yeah. Right. I mean, unless you want me to host from a plane, but you know. Oh man, but I was gonna try to make a segue. We got Redshirt soaring to new heights here. Right there's the segue.
Yeah, there you go. Flying his way into another max. This is gonna have to play a little bit more efficiently if he's looking to get it before level 29. Well, I say have to play more efficiently. More like he has to get the bars to play efficiently. There's one. And there it is. Going to burn that down. Perfect timing on those. Looks like a little bit of 29 play might be necessary.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of, if he plays perfect, you would maybe, right? But obviously, you don't, in this situation, you've come this far in the game, right? You don't really want to put that pressure on yourself to have to continue scoring at an aggressive rate, right? Like, just keep it clean. I think, really, if you're Redshirt, that's the priority right now.
Yeah, you can keep it clean. If you miss it, because mathematically possible, if he gets all 3 Tetrises here, he maxes.
Oh.
Might be just shy. Might just shy.
Yeah, I think he's going to need a few burns on 29 regardless. So let's see. There's a Tetris.
Yeah, we'll just miss it. So he'll need a couple of burns.
A couple skims. So there we go. He's set up. Will the game give him the piece? Let's see how long he holds out for it, and is not going to very long.
There's the triple, so a Tetris will be good enough. And
there
it is. Another max for Redshirt.
And that'll be max number 4 at this point. There you go. Very nicely done. Yeah. And, he did what he had to do, right? He took that safe triple. He knew, like, okay, this bar's not coming. I should not be holding out for this. Like, I'm very close. I just got to trust my mechanics on 29 and you get it done. So kudos to Redshirt. Yeah, making that happen. But meanwhile, we have another max out on the horizon here, potentially here for DMJs on level 25, 770. And, you know, we were kind of talking about earlier that 800K benchmark into level 26. He has surpassed that, is now at 837 as we get there on his side. And it's just all clean looking on that board there.
Nice burns. There it is, another Tetris for DMJ. We are looking at a early 28 max. Oh, nice adjustment.
Wow.
See, that's the puzzles working in Tetris puzzles.
Yes, yeah, it's a good segue there. Yeah, shout out to Ansel, man. That was really well done. That whole Nestris.org website, you know. Yeah, and if you want to try it, he has Tetris, right? That's a good way to do it, you know.
Yeah, and then there's also Tetris Effect connected that has classic score attack.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was fortunate enough to have a Hyperkin controller, and it plays just like an actual NES controller.
Yeah.
And that helped me not be nerfed because Tetris Effect connected, I feel a little bit nerfed because I struggle with quick taps.
Right.
And that's, you know, a key component of my play. So something that's a key component is Redshirt. All right, able to just narrowly get that bar. A triple and a single.
And
there it is, another one for
DMJ.
DMJ.
Got it done.
But that website has just become so ingrained. It's like anytime I do something and it's bad, I'm like, puzzles would not like that.
Yeah. What would puzzles tell me? Yeah.
What would puzzles think?
Oh man. Yeah. You know, it is really impressive though, right? And if nothing else, like makes you at least like think more about what you're doing. I know it does for me, right? I just like even if I don't always agree with all the placements as a DAS player, right? Like certainly someone was like, okay, I'm a DAS player, I'm not gonna hit that, right? But like, you know, but in certain cases, you know, like Cheese probably benefiting from some of that too, as he is way up at the top, right? Like
54 pieces before a long bar for Cheese.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But yeah, but my point was
right before
wow.
transition too.
Wow. Yeah, sure. Cheese thinking a lot about his decisions, and there we go. There's the long bar for the Tetris, and that's good. And more importantly, Sharky, relief.
Yeah. But now this presents an interesting predicament because, like I said, level 18 does take 5 minutes, and Cheese has a pace where unless he has a phenomenal post-transition, he's going to have to play level 29. And so the question is, does he continue to play out this game? Or,
right.
You know, yeah, the 5 minutes was wasted, but now you don't have to spend that extra time or, you know, play it out and try to make the most of each attempt.
Right. Or does he just cut his losses, right, and just try again? But looking like he's going to go with just, you know, send it and see what happens, right? You know, he does have a max out and a 913 on the board, so certainly, you know, not a bad run so far. You know, certainly if your Cheese would like to see, you know, at least a couple more.
Well,
oh, something happened over there.
I hear
Hear the no.
it's not the GD price. No.
Oh man, wish he was here, man. Wish he could have made it.
Yeah.
Oh man, but Cheese hoping he can make it to Max Out City again here. He's actually, I mean, he's up the pace here on the 19, right? He's kind of shaking his head at me, right? But, you know, maybe whether it's a cringe segue or the fact that I'm talking about him, but regardless, he's upped his pace a bit. That's, you know. Oh, man. Yeah, meanwhile, speaking of games going on right now, Eric's got a good one going here. 767 here, level 22. As we'll get just south of 800K into level 23, so we could be looking at an early one here. Oh man, but Cheese though at the top. This is. Oh no, there's the Cheese bar to column 2 right there. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Sorry, Cheese.
That's one of the things that I love about the Tetris community is all the inside jokes. I mean, while we were doing mic checks earlier, which unfortunately for you guys that are watching at home, you didn't get to hear it, but got a chance to sing the 12 Days of Tetris.
Oh yes, yeah, that was that was entertaining to listen to. I'm like, oh man, what a throwback, right?
Yeah.
One that you and like Joseph and them made all those years ago, yeah.
It'd be cool if we could. We need Chris Forrest to give us
his rendition of
when
that.
You get the line.
Yeah.
Does it almost feel like a sign sent from the sky?
Oh man.
Such good parodies.
Yeah.
The writing is also clever.
That was fun, that after party too a couple years ago, right? When they busted that out. Game Scout was on the piano, just it was a huge jam session. It just turned into that. I don't know. It felt like, what, were we in a Disney movie? Like, it's honestly what it felt like. But it was fun. It was fun. Oh, man. But Eric looking to have a finish to this game, not unlike a Disney movie here. Right, as we're at 9:08. Oh, come on, man.
What kind of Disney movie? Like a Disney original or like an actual like Walt Disney Productions movie?
Right. Yeah, like like a production, right?
Okay,
Walt Disney
okay.
Production, right,
Because hey, some of the Disney originals back in the early 2010s. Ooh, I'm showing my age.
We're dating ourselves here.
Yeah, but man, some best times. That Disney XD.
Disney XD, yeah. Yeah. Well, no, don't bring up Crash and Bernstein, Tyler and Reed. Oh, Eric with the hang. And 9:53, there's the kicker.
See, that was your fault because you said Crash and Bernstein, and that game kind of crashed and burned right there.
Oh, my God. What have we
that
done?
was
Oh, man.
But we got a couple of good games on the right-hand side. DMJ 6:15 at 137, and Red Shirt at 7:06 at 153.
Yeah, so some good ones going here. All right, definitely, these are games to watch here, right? Games to watch for the Maxes. It's just, man, this is how good all these players are now, man. Like, it's just one after the other. Like, one player max is like, oh, this guy's on max out pace. Oh, that guy down there's on max out pace. It's just, it's crazy. It will never cease to amaze me. Like, just the level of consistency that all of these players have.
And I think that when it comes to, like, learning Tetris, if there is one place where you can, like, consume a lot of high-level Tetris to, like, learn at least a good chunk of fundamentals, even though these players are able to stack higher, I say that qualifying is a good place to learn that. Because these players, they're not going hyper-aggressive most of the time, unless your name is Tetris Time. They're not going hyper-aggressive most of the time, and they're just trying to focus on solid stacking so they can get that max. So that if you're, trying to learn how to play, looking at these players, seeing how they stack to consistently get that max, time and time again, this is a great way to try and facilitate that learning.
Yeah. Yeah, even when you're just practicing the format at home, right, before coming here, right? Yeah, just, like, figuring out the aggression, maybe tempering it a bit if you're, used to going aggressive on the 19 to try and match your opponent, right? It's a good opportunity to do that for sure. And it really, it really is a different skill set when it comes down to it. And I think, honestly, it's what qualifying rewards. Like, there's a debate, there's a debate in Discord every friggin' year, right? Like, oh, do we do away with Max? Speaking of Maxes, Red Shirt just got one again. But, but there's the debate of, like, should we, do away with that? Just do high score instead, but, like, but it's a different skill set.
The craziest thing, though, even, like, it gets brought up and it works.
Yeah.
It's always been accurate, which is, like, the wildest thing. But, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Because Chris Tang is like, well, until it's broken, then.
Yeah, like, it's still working,
Which, of course, you guys are going to hear Chris Tang and James Chen later on, especially this week.
Yeah, certainly tonight at our right. They're on for our the TGM tournament, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I opted not to commentate it because I just didn't know enough about TGM4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those two. Those two are going to be great for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe we got Japanese commentary going on for that as well with Corian and Green Tea. If memory serves.
If they're not playing.
Yeah, if they're not playing, that is. Yeah, exactly.
You got Green Tea, won the few TGM4 Grandmasters, and then Corian, I've seen him play Konoha a lot, which is, the perfect clear mode.
Yeah.
And he's insane.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of insane, another max out, Sharky, right, for DMJ, right? We're just, man, get yapping for even 5 seconds, and, these guys are just like, hey, guys, max.
Yeah, but I think that's also one of the coolest thing is that I think this year we have the most amount of multilingual broadcasts for top 8 than we've had all year long.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we also get Japanese commentary in-house.
In person, yeah.
From, Corian, Green Tea, and Sight. The Sight is the organizer of the Waku Waku tournament, or one of the organizers of the Waku Waku tournament.
Yeah.
So that is, we got Persian, we got French, we'll have Italian on another collaborator's channel. We'll have Spanish.
Yeah.
It's so many.
Spanish in-house too, right? Yeah, with Pollo and all of them, right?
Yeah. The fact that we have all the way up to CT11.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, not even a CT8 the Ocho, right? Wait. Yeah. I don't even remember what 11 is in Spanish. I'm gonna be honest.
Once.
Once. Yes. Yeah. See. Yeah. Classic Tetris 11. The once. Right.
Yeah. The once. Yeah. Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad.
No, it really doesn't. It's got a ring to it. So yeah. So Pollo, that it is free, right? That's a free idea. Next time I'm gonna charge you. That's.
But we got another post-transition game for Cheese, 6-16. So on track for that max by 29.
Yeah, it seems like he's really found his rhythm here, after that kind of suffer game he had the last one.
Yeah, and it was just a combination of like unfortunate misdrops, but then also that 42-piece drought right before transition
Well, it was a 50-piece drought right before transition, yeah. But still, your point stands, yeah.
It's a lot. And that's, the challenge is like you're having a bad game and then it's made worse. It's like, man, I'm just not getting the bar.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah, and sometimes it even becomes a mental game at that point, too. It's like, all right, next
like,
game's a different game. It's
yeah.
a new game. Like, it's,
You got to sit back. It's like, all right, this game just wasn't it for me. We'll just go next.
Just run it back, yeah.
I think when it comes to.
Oh, you can see some indecision there with that J or L piece, excuse me.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to when you start talking about like at the highest level, when they have the mechanicals down, they got the technicals. I think what separates the players and what is like one of the biggest determining factors of who walks away with this championship at the end of the day is the mental game.
Yeah.
Because this moves slow enough for people to like process what's going on, and then for players that are used to playing at these speed, that's a lot of time that you can be thinking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, we place pieces just instinctively, especially like if we're streaming and we're playing, we're not like entirely focused on the game. We're interacting with chat.
Talking with people, yeah.
And so then a lot of that could just be autopilot. So then you could be thinking, and especially when you start talking about situations you're down maybe 2-1 or even worse, down 0-2, and you got to like lock in for that game. Trying to compartmentalize that mental to where it doesn't distract you is very important. And speaking about things not distracting, look at the score from Cheese.
Yeah, he's still going here. He's still cooking. Uh-oh. The CT3 chats have started already. I don't know what the heck happened over there, but
if you want to find out, go to Classic Tetris 3
have
on
that pulled
Twitch.
up too. Yeah, yeah. All the tabs. Have all the tabs open.
She's not quite liking the pieces that are being received right now, but is one Tetris and a little bit of change.
Yeah, so, the Tetris should do it.
Oh, wait. The Tetris. Wait,
oh!
no, he's going for the perfect max. Come on, long bar. Come on.
Give it to it.
Perfect max! Oh, my gosh.
1 million right on the dot, baby.
1 million exactly.
Oh, yeah, that was the look on his face. He's like, wait a minute.
I was like, hold on a second. That's exact, because the Tetris in the 29 is 36,000 points.
Wow.
Automatic highlight.
Get it? Yeah. Just doing the math like mid, like it's one thing for us to do that math, but to do it mid-game like that is crazy.
I got way too excited for that. I saw that. I was like, wait, no, he's going for it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, like give it to him. Like
for at least as long as we could see like the screen displays, I think that is like the first perfect max
that we've seen here. Yeah, certainly here at the World Championship.
Yeah, here at the World Championship.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Already a special year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but he's a pro. That's he can do stuff like that. He can get away with all that. Man. But meanwhile, got some other transition games going on. They'll pale by comparison.
Yeah.
But no, but of course some good games going on here too. We got Eric up at the top left, with an 820 here. Certainly on pace to get a max out before level 29. All right, we got 853 on level 26, so a couple levels left to go. Meanwhile, Redshirt and DMJ both on level 20 each. Redshirt with the higher pace at 677, DMJ at 516. But of course, keep an eye on Eric here as we are approaching the level 29.
Yeah, about 3 Tetrises and change will get us that max number.
Oh, didn't get the rotation.
But the burns are going to be great. Nice timing
Wow.
on the O pieces. Hold on.
Oh! Didn't come quick enough. He was trying to get one more over there. Just not going to happen.
So another game going to have to be started up there for Eric. But Redshirt is storming in with another one.
Yeah, 794, level 23. I mean, yeah, because we've seen 2 max outs for him already going into level 26. It's been very, very efficient today.
1 hour warning in 1 minute.
So again, 852 here for Redshirt. Jamming here. He's got some good tunes going, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Got to get the, maybe Redshirt, like, send me your playlist after this. Like,
Yeah, I unfortunately I didn't have time to update my playlist, but Discord was nice enough to give me YouTube Premium for 3 months.
Oh, there you
so
go. Yeah, just
my,
make it on
my songs on
YouTube.
YouTube. Just get to listen to that, no ads.
Yeah. And, oh, Eric, what a board. Anyway, Redshirt here at 953. Right, and we're looking
at a 26 max
again here. Yeah.
Discipline burns. I love to see it.
Yep,
Tetris.
988 now. One more will do it, or even could just take some burns. He wants to play it safe. But it's set up.
He's going to do it in style
And
with
there
a
we
Tetris
go.
and another max for Redshirt.
Another 26 max, and we're at just about an hour remaining here, right? It's 1 hour to go. So we're about halfway through, and yeah, you're going to see it. Redshirt got to get up, just take a breather, right?
And I approve of that.
Yeah.
If they're, always stretch, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're hydrated.
Yep.
The water buffs go insane.
They do. They absolutely do.
Having a bad game, it's like, all right, let me drink some water.
Yeah, you got the jumping jacks, going on up there.
That's actually what I contribute to my victory up against Nenu back in 2020 was water. Because I was down 0-2, and after that I started drinking water after every game. And then
it helps.
Yeah, it helps. It's like it helps clear your mind.
Yeah.
And right now, DMJ looking for a clear path to another max. Just one more Tetris, and there it is, another max for DMJ.
That's max number 7. So if he keeps up the pace, 7 per hour, right? If he continues the pace, we could be looking at 14 here from DMJ.
Yeah.
God, still crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, and again, make sure you have all 4 channels open. Right here at Classic Tetris, Classic Tetris 2, Classic Tetris 3, and Classic Tetris 4.
Yeah. Chat asked a question, is it hot in California? And believe it or not, it's actually pretty pleasant.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was genuinely surprised when I looked at the weather, and I was like, oh, that's actually like perfect weather. It almost feels like Portland kind of weather.
It did, honestly. Yeah, I almost I stepped outside after I parked the car. I'm like, man, I almost kind of regret leaving my hoodie in there. Like, but but it was comfy. It was really, it's really comfy out here, actually.
No, I was like, oh, this is nice.
Honestly, like being a Detroiter myself, feels like I'm at home. Honestly, so.
Yeah, it feels cooler. I was expecting, a little bit more Texas-y weather, like a little bit more on the hotter side of things. Because I have that built-in heat resistance. Plus 50.
Yeah.
My code resist.
You Texans are built different. Yeah.
Man. It's actually been cooler while these players are still getting on the way. It's actually been cooler in Texas this year than it has in previous years.
Oh, certainly, yeah. I mean, I saw that blizzard you guys got this winter. It's like, sorry for your losses. Having to deal with that.
I was fine. Yeah. I was fine. I was chilling.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you guys probably had it worse than us in Detroit.
But it was like, so far, at least where I live, it hasn't passed 100 degrees yet in Texas.
Yeah.
Which is good because.
Yeah, that's good news. I remember when I came out for Lone Star the one time, it was just during the 100 degrees till further notice.
That was awful.
It was horrible, yeah.
Lone Star, that was 2022, yeah. Right?
Or 23.
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah.
2023 Lone Star, Austin, Texas. It was anywhere from like 100 to like 105 every day.
At nighttime, 100 degrees.
Yeah. And then whenever it rained, I remember specifically because I was so mad. It rained for literally 5 minutes. And then it stopped raining and the sun came out. And I was like, if you're going to do that, just please keep raining. Because then it just made it humid, which humid heat, disgusting.
Yeah. Like every Midwest dad would say ever, it's not the heat that gets you, Sharky. It's the humidity.
It's the humidity.
Oh, man. But these players not being got by the humidity here, they're the ones cooking here right now. As Cheese at a 662 at level 22. Having to take a few burns, but is in very good position. There we go. As soon as I get done saying it, he's way ahead of me, Sharky. He knows what's up.
Quick tap, and that'll be a top out.
Yeah, so again, 696 here.
Also digging up high.
With 420 there. Hey now, 696, 420. He's going to take the burn and the Tetris.
DMJ going to have to go for a soft reset here.
Oh, man, yeah. A few misdrops there up at the top. But, of course, again, kind of game to watch right now is Cheese there on the bottom left, was able to get into a rhythm that last game, and it looks like that's going to, so far, carry over into this one, too.
Brilliant down stacking. or I say downstacking, it was just more so opening up the well.
Yeah, more so just some skims, really. But they were efficient skims, and they were definitely necessary to keep the board safe. There we are at 767, just hoping, these bar will friggin' show up. He's like, bro, what is happening?
He's like, why am I getting another drought?
There we go.
No, maybe it's because that cheese is from Arizona. The RNG followed him, the dryness of the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. That dry heat out there, man.
Man, I will never forget. I had the one time I went to Arizona. It was 2023 CTWC. I actually had a layover in Arizona.
Yeah.
I got off the plane, walked into the airport, no AC. I was like, this is awful.
Oh my God. Yeah, if you're like walking through the walkway from the plane or whatever, you can like feel it.
I was like, all right, okay, this is pretty cool. Get inside where all the flights and stuff are. No AC. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh my God, I thought you were gonna die, but someone who's not gonna die right now is Cheese, as he is on level 28. He's got a couple Tetris left before 29, and could at least get close, very close to max out beforehand, but only has one more on the table now, so he's gonna have to play some 29 to get it.
Oh, brilliant
Wow.
burn! I love that from Cheese. What I don't love is this RNG. There it is, Tetris. One more will be necessary, or could line out.
Yeah, we'll see how he handles this here. But, man, yeah, the game was just – it took so long to reward him for those good burns there. There we go. Good burn. You're at 981. A few burns will do it. Oh, man, it's just – it's all eyes on Cheese right now. It's a hang of a bar. Let's see if he can get another one over. Oh, no, the SP's going to hang. Oh, my gosh. Okay, wait. He's got the skim set up.
A couple more thousand points.
Flat. He's playing so safe here.
He needs 5.
Dude,
he needs, no, can't do it. 997.
Oh, my God. That could end up being the highest kicker of the tournament, man. Oh, my God.
And you can just see it. There's just not too much that he can do.
Oh, my God. It's heartbreaking, man. Wow. What a heartbreaker. And just like that, he's just right back in it here. He's just no time to waste. He's got to get another one going. Got to just, in that situation, you just got to shake it off. That's all you can do. Oh, my gosh. Wow. I'm still speechless, man. That was oh, my gosh. But in the meantime, folks, we got Eric ICX here at 882. And again, if you like what you're seeing, right, well, we're just cruising along here. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to contribute to that prize pool. These players put on an absolute show here for everybody. We definitely want to see that prize pool get higher. These players deserve it, man. Right, you'll have that occasional slip up, right, or whatever, right, but but honestly, it's hard. I mean, but that game that you just saw, it's a testament to how hard it is to play 29. As Redshirt gets the max out as well, right? He will get it. So that'll be max out number 7 for him. He'll tie up with DMJ. Like I said, level 29, though, it is hard to play. Yeah, the fact that, Cheese, the innovator of rolling, having some misdrops on 29, it can happen to anybody.
It's a very fast speed. Don't let the fact that it can be played. There's a max for Eric. It's a very fast speed. Don't let the fact that it can be played distract you from it's still incredibly difficult.
Yeah, even for the best players. Yeah, it's like, pretty much the way that I felt when I first tried playing 29 as a, as a roller. It felt the same way that it felt when I was first starting playing at all, right? As when trying to learn how to play 19. When I played that for the first time, I thought it was impossible, And that's the normal reaction, and it was the same way for 29, and it's hard. My point is it's really difficult.
But funny story about level 19. So my sister, this is back when I was still a budding player. My sister came in my room and she was like, oh, what you doing? I'm like, I'm playing Tetris. And she's like, oh, that looks easy. And I'm like, oh, yeah? I bet you $20 you can't get a line on level 19. She spent 20 minutes trying to get a line and couldn't do it.
Wow.
And she got close. But the thing is unless you know DAS or how stuff works on that.
Tetris, yeah.
She just couldn't get it, and she gave up, and she was like, you're mean for that. And I'm like, I didn't say you had to pay me 20. I say if you can get it, I'll pay you 20.
Yeah.
So I kept my money that day. She never played Classic Tetris again.
Oh my god. Oh man.
But it just goes to show, like, 19 in these higher speeds are very difficult unless you're, like, practiced on them. And
Yeah.
even then, misdrops still happen at the highest level.
Yeah, you know, like these are human beings after all, right? Like, you know.
What? They're human beings?
Yeah, right. It's not. We don't have stack rabbit up there, right? Or you know.
Beta Tetris.
Yeah, beta
you know, here.
Tetris, triple machine, like you know.
These are actually humans. They're not just robots that are capable of high precision inputs almost every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, like you know, a mistake will happen. You know, but these guys are very good at minimizing the amount of mistakes that are made. You know.
There it is, Tetris over there for DMJ on another good run, 750 here.
Yeah, we're at about a that coveted 60% rate. You know, going into the later levels of this game. And DMJ, Sharky still has yet to submit a kicker, right? Like every game that hasn't been a max out, it's been like, a 100, 200K game, a fairly early top out, right? And he's just been like, nope, I'm going to just go for another max. I'm just going to reset, save the time. Like if I'm going to get a kicker, I can get something higher than that. So there we go, another Tetris, 851. So certainly could get it well before 29 here.
Yeah, looking at a 28, I want to say that 27 is possible, but given our situation that we've seen with these players and these droughts, which I'm kind of scared of what we see during match play, because last year, I know for a fact I was talking about the droughts a lot, the amount of references I made to Texas last year, just because of like how dry the boards were. But DMJ looking for one and change.
Yeah, he's home now. And speaking of which, no, okay, here we go. 18 feet drought, easy gets the bar. Just needs a few burns. Could triple it at this point.
Oh, he pushed down. Maybe unintentional, maybe intentional.
Oh, say
Wait,
another one.
hold on.
Hey,
48 points over.
48 points over the perfect max. I was trying to pull a cheese there, but nah, he did too much. There you go. My max out number 8 for DMJ. It's
Another
on the board.
max.
Yeah, that's the important part, right? You got it.
And she's 506, looking at a very high 500K. Well, not quite. With the board state in mind, we're looking at a mid 500K transition.
Yeah, because he's likely going to have to burn all the way in unless he sets up something really dirty. But certainly at this phase would be ill-advised.
Ooh, I like that burn.
Yeah. Yeah, the solves are just so good, man. But that's why he's there, man. That's why he's on our stage. That's why he's, a top 16 finisher at the World Championship just last year. So, he's...
Yeah, Cheese has always been an innovator. Back in 2020, when we had certain restrictions on how to play online, Cheese had played with the controller like up to his chest.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people called it like the Guitar Hero grip. Like he's shaking his head, he knows, but it was still like in order to comply with the restrictions that were imposed, Cheese found a way and adapted, and that kind of adaptation kind of worked its way into rolling a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. And plus, and this is in addition to some other research, like, how can we, like trying to do the fly hack technique on the top of the controller, which didn't work. There was a lot of innovation that went into it, into the competitive scene you see today. Like,
I think one of the coolest things, and it's always wild because, obviously hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
But the fact that, it took someone like Cheese saying it's like, hey, we're tapping with like 1 to 2 fingers. Why not use all 5?
All of them, yeah.
It's like, it seems like something like a solution that would just be like, just right there. But no one really thought of that.
Yeah, everyone just kind of, in their ways, right? It's like, well, this isn't very ergonomic. Obviously there was a lot that went into it, but but just the base of the, right, the idea behind it, it was kind of right there,
But right now, we're looking good down here at the bottom. I think there is a pretty sizable, okay, there it is, Red Shirt's OCR issue corrected for the most part.
Almost,
He's not at what is happening.
we got Yobi hard at work, man. Got to shout him out with the Nestor's champs.
Yeah, Yobi coming all the way out from Singapore to help troubleshoot tech. And look at this drought Red Shirt had to endure into level 19, not level 59.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
Whoa, he's at level 61, right? Oh, man. So, yeah, no, of course, you'll be hard at work. We do appreciate him very much, right? So, it's, you know. It's, yeah, like, it's cool that we have, you know, the nice-looking pieces, right?
Yeah, the
It's
high
sharp,
definition.
You know? Like, you know, and obviously, you know, it's difficult to get old and new technology to work together, as Jonas would always put it, right? Like, it's just getting them to be cooperative, right? It's difficult. It's, you know, so.
And knock on wood, but it's always impressive that we don't have more issues.
Oh, why would you say that?
I already said knock on wood. Like, when you think of, like, the catastrophic issues that could go wrong working with
tech, I know what you're getting
working with
at.
tech that's older than me. Like,
Yeah.
bro, this game is older than me by like almost 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, man.
And-
Oh, hanging with T from Cheese.
Oh wait, hold on.
This is diggable.
This is diggable, but we're
Yeah.
closing in on level 29 though.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find something efficient, maybe an
That
LP would be
Z-piece.
nice. No, not gonna happen.
That ZP was awful.
Yeah, that was like honestly the one piece he couldn't use.
Yeah, I think a triple will be enough from here. So,
Red shirt, level 66. No, it's level 26.
26. Yeah, just subtract 40 levels and a few hundred lines, and you know.
Yeah. Yeah, 40 levels, so 400 lines.
Yeah.
That Tetris rate is definitely not 12,
Yeah.
but it looks like 29 play might be necessary.
Yeah, we are at just south of a 900K.
strong game from before. Pace is not quite as good. Has to do a bit of burning, but
Wait. Okay, maybe subtract more than 400 lines.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is going to be tricky, though.
almost 31 from here.
Yeah. Assuming, yeah.
It's kind of scary because I don't know when it's going to hit.
Yeah, I think it's about to.
Okay, this next one, surely.
It's gotta be, right? Yeah,
There it
there we
is.
go. So we're on level 29 on red shirt
And
side.
several missed drops.
Okay.
And that's going to be a kicker. It is better than the earlier kicker that has been submitted.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
We got another good game over here for Eric.
Yeah, 579 here at the level 20 at the moment. So this is looking strong, right? Looking like, so again, Eric currently with 3 maxouts, looking for their 4th. Right, and you know, as we're starting to get closer towards like we're in the back half of this this session, right? This first qualifying session, this is starting to, bring the question of, how many do we think are going to be needed to get into the bracket, right? The gold bracket, certainly it was like what, 4 or 5 last year? 4, I think. If I recall correctly, but
I think it was like, oh, wow.
oh wow, oh my God,
That
what a
is-
save. Yeah.
Downbound, she's having to reset, and DMJ fighting for survival, and is going to
Wow,
able to
what
dig it
a dig
out.
from DMJ. Just masterclass maneuvers right there. But, but as I was saying, right, like, I think it was about 4 maxouts last year, if my
Yeah,
memory
it was
serves
like
right.
4 max outs and basically a one-off kicker. So, like,
Yeah.
you needed
So
5.
basically 5.
Yeah, basically
so,
5.
So then the question becomes, right, like, is again, DMJ and Redshirt, above that already, right? We had last year, but of course, people like Eric and Cheese that have, 3 and 2 max outs respectively, it's almost, you almost got to wonder. It's like, man, are they going to start feeling that pressure to, get a few more, right? These last few games, right? Back to back to back, however many more they need, Guess it depends on how many they think they're going to need,
Yeah. And I think that's also one of the scariest things. Like, as the first qual session, you don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
The most that you can speculate is what everyone's been saying. People have been saying, like, oh, it's going to be 6. It's going to be 8. And definitely one of the challenges is to not let that get in your head.
Yeah.
So you'd have to play your game, and since you're part of the first group, you set the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I always like looking at it, It's like, all right, well, you're up first. You're setting the bar, So I always found it interesting that, a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people sign up for, the later slots, but, I don't know. I find that interesting. So
I sign up for the later slots because I can go and get food right before and have the food boost. Because after I'm done with my commentary shifts here, going to get Chick-fil-A and boba.
Yeah, get some lunch, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good call. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too. But breakfast buff.
True.
There's breakfast buff. At least you have something good for breakfast, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know.
But
All right. But in the meantime, you know, Eric looking for that breakfast buff right now as they're at level 27. Probably going to be looking at some 29 play to be able to get the max here. And, man, this bar is just not showing up.
Yeah, and DMJ having to go for the max in post 29 as well. And that's the thing.
It needs over 100,000 points, too, so it's going to have to play decently far into it.
And we already saw it happen with Cheese with him failing to get that one max.
Oh, and Eric going to hang a bar on the right. There's a 906 and not enough to even up the kicker there.
Yeah, one of the scariest things is that when these players do get to that 29, they're forced to max. Now there's that added pressure of not only do they have to play at a higher speed, but they want to get that max, and
MJ, one burn.
there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
The max for DMJ. But as I was saying, like, they want to get that max on 29, so now there's that added pressure, because if you don't get that max while you're playing 29, that's 8 to 10 minutes gone.
Yeah.
And we're well more than an hour in our qualifying.
Yeah.
So now every minute matters. Because who knows, you might have a couple of rough games where you have an early top out, and then all of a sudden, you know, rocket screen, time expires, you don't get another game.
Yeah. Yeah, even just those few seconds, right? Those few seconds can make all the difference. And that's something we're going to be looking at as we start to get close to the end of our time here in this first qualifying block. Right? I was looking at probably about, you know, just checking general time, somewhere about 25, 30 minutes remaining here. So,
Red shirt, nice down stacking.
and there we go. So we were just getting underway here, but man, it's been a crazy run. You know, a lot of surprises, some drama, high drama, right?
Yeah,
Certainly.
I mean, already. Oh, DMJ actually. How long is DMJ going for 18 starts?
This is the first one I've seen.
Yeah, maybe we just also been like locked into all the other drama that's been happening.
Right.
Oh,
no,
dirty Tetris.
Yeah, no,
right
this
there.
is the first one I've seen. So I think, you know, it's possible he has played a few more, but that's the first I've noticed. You know.
Yeah, but we have a lot of exciting stuff that's happening today. Obviously, you have the qual sessions. Then there's something after session 3. Definitely going to want to stick to see what that is.
Yeah.
You'll just have to see.
Yeah, you're going to have to see. It's worth your time.
It is worth your time. So after qual session 6, there's something special. And then there's the TGM4 tournament, which I saw TGM4 recently updated because now that people are starting to get GMs, they started adding additional grades. So you'll have like GM Grandmaster rounds 8 or Grandmaster round 6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of cool because, you know, TGM3 wasn't really accessible to us in North America, and nor did it really receive updates.
Yeah.
So then now you got a game.
Well, yeah, 'cause it came out so long ago, right?
Yeah.
It was a different era, really, like of just gaming in general.
Yeah,
so.
the only way you got a chance to play TGM3 is if, you know, you go to one of these retro gaming conventions and they have a cabinet that just so happens to have the board. Or you go to Japan, which one day, I'll be there one day.
Yeah, I mean, we pull up for Waku Waku if they do that again. You know, please do Waku Waku again, Site. Thanks.
Yeah, this time I'll actually be in the proper time zone and not commentating until
at like 4 a.m. Yeah.
Oh, red shirt. That's going to have to be a soft reset. Not too much could have done there.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jargy, we got Cheese at transition just south of a 600K at the transition, and now we'll go up to 623. So, got to just stay strong, keep it going. He's laughing at something, whether us or the other players.
Hang in there. Get your motivational cat poster.
Oh, man, yeah.
Nice, dirty Tetris setup.
Yeah, give it.
Oh, you already see that preemptive head shake.
No.
He wants it.
Oh, no, it's not going to show up. Oh, come on, man.
How about next time we, like, take away some focus off of Cheese? Because it feels like every time we're looking at Cheese, he just runs into a drought.
Yeah, the game knows. The game absolutely knows.
It's like, oh, wait, Sharky and Burb are commentating over Cheese? All right,
like, bro.
Let's drought him right now.
Yeah.
40-piece drought.
Yeah, and just and then blame it on them, right? Blame it on the commentators.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's all the commentators' fault.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, while we're just kind of cruising along here, Cheese opting for the 19 start, and I think it's just because, you know, running out of time, right?
Yeah, you want to get more, especially when you have games like that where they're making a decent amount through the progression of the game, like halfway, somewhere around there. And so then you want to lessen that time in case another thing like that does happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and yeah. So anyway, so Chi's trying to, you know, make up some time here. You know, he's only got 2 max outs on the board right now, and honestly, while we're just getting started here, you know, maybe just kind of looking at some of the remainder of the leaderboard as well. You know, got 14 players that have maxed out so far, at least of those that have been put in already. But, you know, Murfram and them have been doing a good job at keeping it, you know, updating very quickly. So, you know, of course, Pollo at the 14th seed right now with at the high 800 kicker too, you know. So certainly some pretty high scores going on right now. You know, we got Aoife with a couple, I believe over at 4, I believe where she was. You know, Draco got a couple. So, you know, this is, you know, a lot of people maxing out this year. That the floor has really been upped, right? Players have really upped the floor this time around.
Right now. Yeah, players just kind of stacking along. DMJ on track for looks like a 500K transition, so going to be needing roughly the same equivalent in in level 19.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the top, Redshirt just had to endure a 50-piece drought. Gets rewarded with a Tetris. But, you know, luckily still pretty early on. So if, you know, had that continued and was unable to, you know, resolve that, still would have been able to, you know, reset, you know, would have been totally okay. Yeah. And meanwhile, of course, speaking of which, another friggin' drought from Redshirt. Another 30-piece drought. Oh, man. So Redshirt having to do some burning up at the top. Meanwhile, DMJ has transitioned at 526. So does have the max out potential here. And he's looking to be the first one to get to double digits today. Right? He's already got 9. Still has yet to submit a kicker, right? So I mean, either he's maxed out or he's topped out very early, right? So he hasn't he's like, no, I'm not even worth submitting, right? So if he can get this here, I mean, if he can really just stay on this pace. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that, see how that goes. Of course, still keep an eye on Cheese as well, who's on the level 19 starters at 384. Having a very efficient game, actually.
How much time is left? Yeah, so we have 33 minutes left here in this first qual session.
Yeah, so again, so still some time. I mean, so probably, you know, a few more games. Oh, but DMJ with a couple misdrops. But, you know, again, has some room here, right? Try and take these burns, you know, if he wants to get this 429.
So 33 at level 8 game or level 18 games going to take you around.
Yeah, so probably roughly 3 to 4 more games.
Around 4 to 5, depending on how early you max.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, if you max early too, yeah, it could end up being even 5.
But that would be the challenge, and that's why you're going to see Cheese go for that level 19, because now that 4 to 5 games becomes more like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And considering how there is all this talk about how high the cutoff is going to be, Cheese is definitely looking to get as many attempts to try and get as many maxes to even just make sure that a bracket spot
make
is
sure he
guaranteed.
gets in. Yeah. That's really what it is. Just make it in, and then, you know, if you're good enough, you'll be good enough to beat anybody else that's seated above you. At least that's how I always look at it. You know, it's like, oh man, you know, really you want, you know, this ideal seed or whatever. Like, no, if you could just make the bracket, you know, even if it is a very low seed, like you can surprise some people.
Yeah. Don't let it get in your head. I think that's one of the big things that happened to me in my debut in CTWC in 2019. Misdrop over here from DMJ potentially, but no, it's going to work out. So DMJ is on track for a max here. But one of the things that, so is Eric. One of the things that kind of got in my head when I made my debut in 2019 was, had I progressed through my bracket, it would have arguably been more difficult than JD's bracket in 2018. Because first I had to go through Microblaze, and then I'd have to go through Jeff, and then I'd have to go through Green Tea, and then I had to go through Joseph.
Yeah.
And that got in my head because I was like,
yeah, you're thinking too far ahead, right?
Yeah.
And then, not just focus, like, all right, let me just play. Like, just play. Like,
'Cause
not even so much like win this match, like literally just play.
Yeah, because I've been playing for less than a year at that point, and it was, you know, all a surprise for me to even go there, thanks to my mom and dad, you know, flying me out there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, how am I even going to, you know, try and make a run with, you know, all these people as like my opponents, especially Green Tea and JD being in my bracket kind of spooked me a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a spooky bracket. Well, it's not so spooky as DMJ. Well, he is pretty spooky if you're his opponents, because Max number 10, it's on the board. He'll be the first to reach double digits today.
And another top out from Eric as well.
And 944, just south of the kicker, Sharky. Just literally less than a Tetris south of it. That one's got to hurt. But meanwhile, we got redshirted Cheese still cooking here. We're on the 19 speed. 744 Cheese on level 24. Add a Tetris, go to 774. 680. That is your score for redshirt going into level 23 here. There we go. Again, they're just letting it rip right now. We're hearing some cowbells, potentially some more max outs going on, either off stream or on our other streams. Again, make sure if you're watching this, you like what you're seeing, and you want to see more Tetris right now. You see all these other players that are qualifying right now. You can see the leaderboard, right? Make sure to tune in to Classic Tetris 2, or if you're on YouTube, Classic Tetris Archive, CTWC Archive channel. And of course, on Twitch, Classic Tetris 3 and Classic Tetris 4. Have all the tabs open. Maybe projecting your TV, whatever you want to do.
Get a multi-stream going,
Yeah.
Have CT4 on your phone, on your computer,
Yeah, like an iPad or something,
CT2.
tablet, whatever.
Consume all the Tetris. But yeah,
There we go. Cheese with max out number 3
we're now
at
taking,
level 28. And again, it was a little bit early, so not super early, but still before 29. Right?
See what trying to figure out what level we're at for red shirt here.
Oh yeah, well 69 apparently, right?
Hey now.
Yeah, that's it. Right, funny number apparently.
Yeah, apparently. And missed drop. And there it is, Tetris for red shirt. I am going to assume this is level 28.
Yep, there we go,
there it
29.
is. It's just that commentator's intuition.
Yeah, just based on context clues, right?
One more Tetris should be good enough for red shirt.
We're excited to work with them so we can attack together. Type in !CTWC in chat for more information. Letters in the word
And there you go, red shirt with another max out. Had to do it post 29, but he's got it, and he is going to go up to 8 max outs and with a decent kicker too, right? The 946 kicker for red shirt. So he's looking strong today, Sharky.
Indeed, he is.
And and I have to say, speaking of other players that are on our stream in front of us right now, I do really think that the 19 transition. Wow, the 19 starts right now, right? Certainly working out for our players that did it. We saw that from Cheese the last game and is continuing to do that here. We'll see if he can go back to back. I mean, he's going to have to take a few burns right now, but certainly, I mean, again, if he's going to go all in, now's the time, right? Now is the time to do it.
So.
Oh my goodness, this producer's messing with us. My God. Oh man, they're in our ears.
Yeah, got to make sure that everything is situated before we get into match play, which, it's the first qual session, so there are going to be, a little technical hiccups.
Yeah.
We were up here till 11:45 last night.
Yeah, pretty late.
Trying to help set up stuff, and everything still wasn't 100% good to go. So there is a lot of work that goes into putting together these events, especially all the tech. If you're able to attend a CTWC, obviously to watch the Tetris, but then just to see how much actually goes into it, the scales.
Yeah, just take in the setup. Just take in the whole setup, man.
Hey,
it's
you guys will see it whenever Kingsman probably is doing his announcing, but there is the single greatest flex that I've seen in my life, just having the CTWC logo spin on CRT TVs.
Oh, yeah.
And then a total of, 16 PVMs.
PVMs arranged in shapes, right? Tetris shapes.
Yeah, Tetris shapes. And PVMs, for those of you that don't know, are expensive as hell.
Yeah, they are. They are literally professional video monitors, right? That a lot of the old, TV stations would use, right? For for all their monitors and all their, their setups that we now use the monitor equipment for, right? So, those go. I mean, literally over $1,000. I've seen some of them go for. They're very, very expensive. So yeah, that's a pretty big flex. know, not even a weird flex, just a flex.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to flex, but you know, speaking of flexing, I think DMJ will be okay with flexing it a bit here if he can pull out this max out. He's at 730 right now. Even nodding in agreement. Yeah, he'll flex. He'll flex. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so 734, level 21, so certainly on a pretty good pace right now. You know, meanwhile, on the bottom left of your screen, she's not looking too shabby either. 407 here. We're on level 19 still. About 30 lines to go till we get to the level 20 transition. Right? No speed increase there, of course, but you know, the colors change, so that's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are winding down.
Yeah, winding down here on this first session. All right, again, so not a lot of time left, and you know these players really trying to make the most of it here. Eric included, as they are at 520 here, now 544 as we're on the 19 speed for them. So lots of fast action going on right now. Just keep your eyes peeled. You know, certainly if we do see some max outs, DMJ be the first to get there. And again, at that point, be looking at 11. And like I said earlier, when we got to the hour mark, right? I'm like, you know, if he gets 7 in just an hour, right? If he can just keep that same level of efficiency, and so far he really is, right? Because he definitely still has time for a couple more. I could end up being right about that. You know, 14 max outs for him.
Yeah, definitely it's time, especially if the level 19 starts to utilize and we get early maxes too.
Yeah, like it's definitely possible. So let's see. He's at 880 right now. We're at level 25. I mean, definitely, if he can get out of this mess and maybe set up a dirty Tetris right here. Oh, he's going to. Wait on the bar. That aggressive flat burn right there, which I know is a weird sentence, but it really was kind of aggressive that high up. But of course, bars come way too late.
Yeah, the drought, massive backfire right there. We got identical paces on the left-hand side, 671 for Eric, 673 for Cheese. And they need these maxes, the both of them.
Yeah, they really do. Because again, you know, if the predictions that have been out there for how many are going to be needed are right, you know, yeah, they're certainly going to need a couple more. DMJ still in a bit of a bind. Up at the top is getting droughted pretty heavily. 30-piece drought, and he's going to succumb to it. That to be at 9:05. And ladies and gentlemen, he will submit a kicker. DMJ with a kicker. It's happened.
It only just took, you know, over an hour and a half.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Thanks for clapping at that, Barrett. I appreciate it. Oh, man. All right. In the meantime, we're going to
Cheese has really been struggling with these pieces. It's always getting the wrong piece to try and downstack out of this, and then the occasional misdrop in between the downstack as well.
Yeah,
really,
like that misdrop of a T we just saw a moment ago.
Yeah, really harming his chances.
Oh, but okay, he's getting some good pieces here. Has a nice long bar flat. We're going to need a couple other good pieces to get out of it. Opted to fill the dependency with a long bar. So yeah, so he's going to try. He's going to try to get out of this mess and try to get himself back on pace. You can kind of see that frustration there. Right, and understandably so, because, my God. But in the meantime, Eric at 974 here. We're at level 28 for them. They are looking to get max out number, I believe number 4, 5? Where's Eric on the leader? Number 4. Max out number 4.
Very crucial max out at this point in the game. Cheese, this is tough because Cheese needs every game here, but to play this out, that's a lot of time that's going to be spent on post 29.
Yeah, but at this point has already spent so much time.
Yeah, this is, what's it called?
You know, a little sunk cost,
yeah,
right?
Sunk cost. That's where I was looking for.
Yeah, but there we go. Tetris Cheese will go to 833, so hold on.
We are locked into Cheese right now.
Oh, man. Oh, we need something on the left side. That was not it, man. That was not it. Really, some more L pieces would have been good. Like, I don't disagree with what he did with the one that showed up by any means, but, like, if he had got maybe a couple more, it could have thrown him left. Like, they're so good for downstacking on the fast speeds. So here we go. Again, starting to run out of time here for our players. Again, we're at 7:49 red shirt, so looking to We're going to lock in max out number 9. But he's got a hang of on the right, but gets another one over. Got that good control there. Yeah, and of course, again, as a reminder for folks, we do have 2 more qualifying sessions today coming up in just a little bit. A few minutes after this one is concluded, we'll have our second block of players. Again, certainly some heavy hitters there too, right? As Sharky was saying, that's going to be one to watch. And then we will have a third qualifying session after that. So Tetris happening all night long, right? All sorts of qualifying going on. And then, of course, tomorrow morning we're going to have a few people qualifying as well. As mentioned, Corian and Green Tea among them.
Dan V as well.
And Dan V,
Alex Kerr.
Yeah, so some heavy hitters, even that are, arriving later or, are otherwise, unable to qualify today, right? And that are going to be going tomorrow instead.
Yeah, because of the TGM4 tournament that they want to participate in as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, next call session, you'll be having Dog, Fractal, Meme, Andy, Eyeball, Miles, SV, Tristop, Knight, Opok, Sodium, Tetris Time.
Heavy.
That cutoff is going to balloon from whatever you see right now to, I think, is going to get to max territory.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. We're at 964 for red shirt. He's got a little bit left before 29. There we go. We'll max it out. We'll max it out. That is max out number 9 for that guy wearing a red shirt there.
Pretty on brand, if I do say so myself.
Oh, yeah. No, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. There we go. So red shirt trying to hang on to what is currently the number 2 seed in the tournament. I expect that will change based on everyone else that's going later, right? There are a lot of players yet to go, so a lot can happen. But certainly, right now, I mean, you got to feel good. Yeah, of course. DMJ continuing the 19-start approach. Right, had that 118 game, like literally just that one game. And it's like, all right, yeah I'm going to go back to 19. It was working. So, a few lines left from the transition. He's at 447, so if he wants to max out before 29, probably want to up the pace a little bit. But, again, he's certainly capable of playing 29. So either way, really looking good. But, like I said, I'm really excited for how this tournament's going to go, though. It's already been I've been having a blast already, man.
Yeah, it's been a great open. I mean, we already got to see some really cool stuff like the perfect max.
Yeah.
I think that's, even though there's all this amazing Tetris that's being displayed by players all around, I think that and then the awareness to execute on it.
Yeah, just mid-game, right? Just to know, like, oh, yeah, I mean, just deliberately set this up. And the fact that he was rewarded, too.
Going to have to go for a soft reset here. Just not great pieces on that 19.
Yeah, he's really just trying to recenter himself here, I mean, because for Cheese, I feel like kind of a, I mean, it's a good qualifier. Don't get me wrong, like 3 and a 997. I mean, that's good, right? I'm not going to say that's a bad qualifier, yeah. But I think, Cheese certainly, probably someone that, would expect to get a bit more than that. I think more he himself, right, would expect to get more than that. But could still happen. There's still some time left. Not a lot, but there's still time left to get at least 1, maybe 2 more. Yeah, there we go. Tetris Cheese, and he is gonna look to get himself back into a rhythm here. And meanwhile, DMJ, kind of our player to watch at the moment, right? He is at 660 here. At level 23. So still having a pretty solid game, as we have about 16 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. And with that in mind, and for those of you that are playing, it's session 2, right? We got a lot of heavy hitters playing in qualifying session 2. If you are in session 2 here at SoCal, right, at the convention, if you are here at the convention and you're playing in session 2, go to the front desk. Don't make King chase you down, all right? You do not. That's not what we want to see happen. So go to the front desk and make sure that you are checked in for qualifying session 2. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, maybe you should be more scared of Marfan. But anyway, if you are in session 2, make sure you go to the front desk and get registered. Yeah, get checked in. But speaking of players that are checked in and are playing, right? DMJ, they had an 825 here at level 26. Needs a few more Tetrises to get that max out. We're at 858 now. So certainly some time before the level 29 to make it happen.
Cheese needs these next 2 games to max. Because we just said there was like 16 minutes left.
Yeah.
So Cheese has to max this game and needs to max the next.
Yeah, and likely the next one too.
If he can somehow fit all 3, that's the thing. He needs those early maxes and maybe a level 19 start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we'll be kind of keeping an eye on that. Right now, early days is certainly looking all right. Like no real major hiccups at the moment.
Yeah,
oh, come on. Don't do this to him just as I say that. Oh, man. Meanwhile, Eric with a 655 here. We're on level 22, so potential for another max out there. But there's one for DMJ. Got it done into 29, and that is a max out number 11.
Small misdrop over there from Cheese, but should be able to recover. Waiting for ideal pieces. And another misdrop, but still gets that T-piece over. And this is a weird position that Cheese is in because of there being so little time left, even if you're having a game that's not great like this, you don't want to really reset because you don't have that time.
Yeah. Yeah, especially knowing what you likely need. Like, that's... Although, ooh, I don't know.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Maybe?
That Z would have been nice a piece earlier.
This is
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't
so
see him go for the
challenging.
perm with the square. I was really surprised not to see it, but regardless,
Right.
going to reset.
That's 2 games. Cheese has 2 games left now.
Yeah.
It's going for 19.
Yeah, wants to maybe try and squeeze even one more. He's gonna avoid Club Zero, Sharky, with a 1 pushdown point, so certainly respectable.
Have Eric up at 740 now.
Yeah, and there we go. Eric just having to get those pieces over to the left side. Is a 746 here. We're now at level 26. So again, he's gonna have to get out of this quick and looking like may need some 29 to make the max happen. And again, they've got 4 right now, so certainly a max here though, Sharky, would be really good for their odds of making it in.
Definitely.
Which is crazy to say, but you know.
Yeah, our former world champion potentially not making it in a gold bracket. It is definitely a possibility, which is scary.
Oh man, this has been quite a ride already, Sharky. These players are good at bringing the drama. Like G's right there with that high up board.
Speaking
my
of
God.
drama, this is a high up board for Eric.
Oh my God, we need 2 more Tetrises.
And
We have 1 line left.
That's a top out from Eric.
And it's not even enough for the kicker. Again, just short. Man. Wow, that's insane. Just that, it's always so heartbreaking, man. That's
you can literally feel the energy shift in the room.
Yeah.
We already know that Red Shirt and DMJ, they're good.
They're good, yeah. They're our top 2 seeds for the time being. You know, we'll see what our Session 2 and Session 3 players have to say about that.
Yeah.
And as a reminder for Session 2 players, if you still have not checked in for Session 2, get to the front desk.
Now.
Yeah, it says right on my note here in big bold letters, all caps, now.
Unless you don't want to qual, then you're.
Then don't, I guess.
Yeah, then don't. Less competition for me. Am I right?
yeah, exactly. Oh man, but of course, Red Shirt's a competitor. He'll keep competing. He's at 695 here. We're on level 24 now. Definitely with the potential to be the 2nd player of the tournament to get double digits in terms of number of maxes. Yeah, and DMJ, and honestly, DMJ having a solid game too here.
A lot of nice adjustments being executed as well.
Yeah, and it's crazy, like these 2, the players that probably needed the least, but that's how they're professionals. That's just how good they are. It's like, that's fine. I'm gonna just, just keep going until it's over. Like it's not over till it's over. I'm gonna give it all I got. It's like Detroit Lions, right? It's like, hey, like we're winning by a lot, but like
Yeah.
we're gonna it's not over yet. We gotta keep going.
Speaking of good paces, Chiefs is on a good pace too. This is exactly what you want. That one game to shift the momentum, change the energy, where it's now like it takes off some pressure when you're playing like this.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, all right, I can afford to take burns. I don't need to go aggressive. I don't need to push myself. If I'm feeling uncomfortable, then I can take it a little bit slower.
Yeah, I could take my time, do my thing. There is time. Again, not a lot of time left, but there is time. Like it's not zero. And honestly, like it could end up even, like if that momentum could shift, it could even end up turning into a HEP situation from back in 2021. It was one of the online years. I think it was 2021. I don't know. It all feels like a blur, I'll be honest. But it was one of the online years, where HEPs was able to just barely, get like his only 2 max outs. Oh, red shirt! Just gonna miss max out number 10, but will up the kicker to a 980. So if somebody else gets 9 max outs, I mean, that's gonna be tough to get ahead of red shirt. All right, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is your 10-minute warning for qualifying session number 1.
And red shirt started right at the 10-minute warning, so that means he gets 2 games on level 18.
Yeah.
Unless he has to play.
Yeah, depending how far he has to play, but typically, about 8 minutes, right? So he'll have time to start one more, most likely.
Another good games down at the bottom. 675 for Cheese, 595 for DMJ.
Yeah, so some good games going to the bottom here. Yeah, we're going to see. Can these two make some more max outs happen? Let's see it. Certainly, gotta give yourself the best chance. That's really what it's about at this point. Like, just give yourself the best chance at still being in, or at minimum, right? Being in the gold bracket. Because that top 48, like that's some tough competition.
Indeed.
As you're just like slowly, like even right now, like I've been watching just people get slowly bumped down past number 34 there, right? Like that's it's just kind of just watch yourself slowly, like as I go down.
Eric with another reset, and I don't know how much time passed since we made that 10-minute announcement, but there is
maybe about a minute or two. Yeah,
there is an actual possibility this could be Eric's last game.
Yeah. So here we go. Meanwhile, DMJ at 8:15. We're on level 26 on his side. Meanwhile, Cheese at the bottom has at 67, on level 25. So this is exactly the game you're looking for, Sharky.
Exactly the game you're looking for, Bird. We're just waiting on the long bar now. DMJ on track for another one, too. Might actually require some 29 play on his part, but our eyes are trained on Cheese. This game is make or break.
Yeah, it could be an early max here. There we go. There's the Tetris. We're at 942.
Set up for another.
Yep, there we go. Yep, 975. One more will do it. There's the Tetris and Cheese.
There's another max. If he starts a level 19 game, I think he can fit in 2.
Yeah, he can squeeze in 2 more. So that's max out number 4 for Cheese. That's much needed. DMJ's now at 29. He's going to have to get a few more lines here to get max number 12.
Oh, that
this
piece
board's
is not
falling
what he's
apart
looking
here.
for. Oh, nice. Getting that TVs over to the left was crucial.
Oh, my God.
The burns. Nicely done, DMJ.
Gets the bar for the dependency, too. A few more lines to go. There's a triple. That'll
and there
do
it is.
Max out number 12 is on the board for DMJ. He's got time for at least one more here.
All right, so we got our level 19 start from Cheese.
Gilbert has the time.
All right, but either way, we are underway with our next games here. Cheese continuing the 19 approach because it's working out for him.
And it's a guarantee of 2 games.
Yeah.
especially if he can get an early max here.
Yeah, so right now, you know, we got pretty early days of these ones, games that we got going on right now. And again, yeah, it's just, like I said, it's just a race to the finish. Just how high of a seed can I get at this point? Man, and again, seriously, just I cannot emphasize enough. Like, what a session this has been, Sharky. This is.
Yeah, this is very dramatic.
Yeah, I have no doubt it's going to finish that way too. Like, regardless of what happens with our players at this point, it's going to be. I mean, they're gonna make it exciting.
Yeah. Eric wants this max. Cheese wants this and another.
Yeah, because Eric at 4 at the moment, you know, and it has just barely missed the 5th one a few times now at this point.
And same can be said for Cheese. Like, the near misses would have pushed both of those players past that theoretical qual threshold.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now, I mean, look at this for Cheese right now. Having another really efficient 19 game. And again, like I said before, now is the time to get that to happen. Right? It is now or never. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 minutes remaining. Yeah.
So Cheese is looking for an early max here. Doesn't want to play too deep into 29.
Yeah, or really at all.
If possible to avoiding 29. But man, these pieces are slowing down the pace. But having 400K at 80 lines, that's a
good game.
Quite good.
Yeah. And is setting this up. No, it's not showing.
It's just more pieces that keep perpetuating this burn.
Yeah, oh my God, these squares, dude.
There it is. You see Cheese not in approval. He approves of those pieces, allowing those burns to cascade the stack down.
Yeah, I'm Cheesefish, and I approve this RNG.
But still, just the pace just keeps falling further and further away as a drought ensues. And the accidental over-adjust.
Yeah, see, and I don't doubt that Cheese could still get the max out off this pace, but it's just a question of how much more time is it going to take than it otherwise would have.
Exactly, because it's literally not a question of if, it's literally a question of when.
Yeah. Oh man, something just happened. Someone did something crazy over there. I gotta make sure you got all the streams open.
There it is, another Tetris for Cheese. So a 470 would be the equivalent transition if we were doing level 18. So
yeah, which is not bad. Yeah.
It's still definitely possible to get the max before 29. It's just that the post 19 levels are going to have to be efficient, and it is on a right track with those 2 Tetrises right there.
Yeah, he's going to have to hustle. Yeah, if he wants to squeeze in another game. All right.
Missed drop.
Yeah. I thought maybe that was a Vitz at first. I'm like, nope, that's not high enough.
Yeah, that was only 3 highs, sir.
Yeah.
Eric with a missed drops, and Eric's going to top out. So one last game.
Oh, no.
That's official.
Yeah, Eric's got one last chance here to get max out number 5. Red shirt is the second player now to get max out number 10. He's got double-digit max outs. And he's got time for could he maybe even get 11?
Yep. One more game left available. DMJ might be able to get one more game. It'd be a challenge, but it's also in the cards for DMJ as well.
Yeah, certainly.
Actually, no. I think this might be DMJ's last game. This is DMJ's
last game.
This is last game.
Thanks, Bidwell. So there's 2 minutes remaining here. This is it, now or never, to make something big happen for all of these players.
Cheese needs this max.
Yeah, probably more than anyone.
So does Eric.
Yeah, so let's see. Right now we got, Cheese the only one at the post-transition. DMJ about to get there too, but.
Yeah, this efficiency spike over here from Cheese, that's exactly what you want. Now we're looking to where it's definitely max possible before 29.
Yeah.
Oh, that adjustment from Cheese. Brilliantly done.
Yeah. Man, the question is, can he get another, whether he, when he gets this max, because I think he's going to get it. I mean, it looks, so far is looking good. The question is, will he do it with enough time to start another game, right? Again, there's less than 2 minutes left. But obviously
60 seconds.
60 seconds. He's got 60 seconds to get this max out.
He needs
and
these
start another
bars.
game, but it's not
Miss
coming.
the spin. Or the tuck, either or. And that O piece.
Oh, no.
Now the focus has shifted. He now needs to just try and focus on maxing this game.
Yeah.
The 29 play is going to be necessary. I don't think there's a way that this could be cleaned up fast enough to get a max before 29.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
This is so tense. Okay, that T-piece helps.
30 seconds remaining.
He needs to get access to that left-hand side. Okay, left side is
good
open.
burn.
Perfect eyepiece.
Yes.
Okay. 130,000 points is how far Cheese is away from the max.
Yeah. Let's see it. There we go.
There's one Tetris. 3 Tetrises left. And a double flip. Cheese goes into 29. Opens up the
Oh,
well.
my God. Time has expired on our players.
And Cheese now trying to not have his board expired. That left side's a concern. Can't get the 5 tap. There's still a chance. He needs the eyepiece. He needs it now, but it's in a drought and hangs.
Get it over.
Cheese with a 928 top out means that Cheese is
gonna finish with 4 max outs.
4 max outs and a 997 kicker.
Wow, that's.
Eric also not in a great position either. A Z burst. Them Z is possibly gonna put this board to sleep, but no, he's finding a way to open it up.
Oh, it gets it over.
Eyepiece comes just a tad bit too late, but now the well is open. That's important.
It
And Eric
gets the
survives.
bar for the Tetris. It's gonna stay alive, and again with time expired, that's all that matters at this point. You gotta make this one game count. And DMJ doing just that, Sharkies. He's at just south of an 800K here. We're on level 26, as he is gonna look to make it 13, lucky 13. See if he can do it. As our other 2 players, Eric and Redshirt, still on 18 here. They've still got a bit of time left before their games will conclude, provided they stay alive. So here we go. So right now it is all eyes on DMJ. There's Longman. There's the Tetris. We're at 873, so certainly could still do this before 29. He's going to have to play decently efficiently, though, to make that happen.
Couple of burns forced, so yeah, 29 play is going to be needed. And hearts go out to Cheese there.
Man, yeah, that was entertaining. I mean, maybe not so much for him. I mean, certainly, you could tell he was struggling a little bit, but
3,000 points away from that 5th max.
Yeah. So here we go. DMJ 985. We're on level 29. He can line this out.
And a little bit shaky.
Uh-oh. But he's been so good on the 29.
All right, just needs a triple is actually good enough. A double, nice.
Yeah, 96, 97.
99, and there it is!
Yeah, lucky 13. DMJ has done it. That's a walk-off. Max 13.
Now our focus shifts to Eric and Redshirt. Eric tapping.
Yeah.
And Redshirt looking to add 1 more max to the total.
Yeah, it is interesting to see Eric tapping. Was known as one of, if not the fastest tapper in the world. Back in their heyday, back when they were doing that primarily, right? So it is interesting to see. Just perhaps maybe to rest the rolling hand, or not sure. But either way, it is interesting. to see.
Maybe it's for more control.
Yeah, that could also be.
Because back when rolling did first, debut, one of the issues was that players weren't consistent at controlling it at a high degree of proficiency. And a drought for Eric. Okay, gets the long bar in time.
Oh, man. Oh, Eric. It's up very high at the start of the 19. Oh, gets that T over. Okay, this is diggable, but again, he's got to.
And it's also very curious because he's tapping too.
Yeah.
Maybe has he swapped to rolling?
Yeah, I
it's
can't
possible.
tell. Where's our hit game? Where's it? Right.
This is okay. Able to get pieces over. All right, the well is open down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the
hang the
hang.
bar.
Gets it over. And that's the triple. The stack
As
is
Red
brought
Shirt's in
down.
trouble at the top.
And with a 600K transition to nice,
Oh!
gets it all the way over. Needs something to that left though.
And
no.
doesn't get the rotation.
There's still a chance. Nice,
Gets
gets
it.
it over. Red Shirt staying alive now needs another J or an I. Neither piece is coming, and
Oh!
Red Shirt tops out. All
683.
focuses on Eric.
Yeah, but gotta say, job well done there from Red Shirt though. 9 max outs, or actually, I believe there was a 10 that wasn't in there. But anyway, a lot of max outs. Is currently the number 2 seed. And it's gonna hang on to that at least for the time being. So here we go. Comes down to this. What can Eric do here? Can we see one more max? I think we can, but it's just has not been the most efficient game, at least coming into the 19. He's gotta either, most likely he's gonna have to get himself ready for 29 regardless.
Yes,
but certainly you want
mathematically speaking.
Yes, yeah, but you want. I guess my point is you want a high score as possible going into it.
Oh, Eric accidentally brought that back because he was Tetris or they were Tetris ready.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. These last few levels, it's certainly a good chance to at least get a couple 100,000 more points and at least make the 29, chase down, for lack of a better way to put it, chase down efforts a bit easier, right?
Yeah, because the longer you have to play 29, the more uncomfortable that could be. Especially now you're in a high pressure situation. You need this max.
But that being said, Eric, well known, right? As they now switch over to the rolling technique. Thank you, production, for showing us that. As they're just switching back and forth, but Eric known as when they won the World Championship 2 years ago or 3 years ago, excuse me. That was really what did it was just the strategy of just lining out, staying efficient, right? Or rather staying alive, right? Just making sure that hey, I can play 29 as long as I want. I'll make it happen.
Ooh,
so
miss spin over there from Eric.
So my point is certainly it could, no matter how many 29 they've got to play, certainly it could be done.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of 29. That's going to have to be played.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, needs a couple 100,000 more points. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, this could be a really exciting way to finish this. Here we go. 1 line to go. They're going to set up down the middle and are going to burn in. Okay, 720 to score at the second transition. So can Eric chase down a cut like 200,000-300,000 points?
That left side needs, okay, he's brought it down. Potentially trying to go for the center wheel. No, it's just going to bring the stack down.
Yeah.
Square not quite hitting its mark, and now the board's starting to elevate.
Oh,
another
misrotation.
And now that left side.
No!
The hang.
Oh, no, can't get it over. And that'll do it. Eric will finish with 4 max at the 953 kicker. Man.
What a qual session.
Yeah, certainly. Wow. What a heartbreaker there right at the end. I mean, it's just, but that's how it goes sometimes, It's
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, there were so many games that were so close.
Yeah.
And especially in Jesus' case, it was 3,000 points away. Just needed a couple extra burns on the level 29 speeds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately just was unable to find it after a couple of unfortunate misdrops.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and like we were saying, it's hard to be put in a position where you got to play a bunch of 29 to even have a chance to get the max out, right? And at the last game of all times, like that's tough. That's really tough to do, and but yeah, certainly very good qual scores for everybody involved. DMJ looking really strong there with 13 maxes. About what I ended up predicting at about halfway. I'm like, hey, if he keeps this level of efficiency up, could end up getting about 14. So was pretty close on that, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Red Shirt too, making it to double digits. It's very, very solid quals for them, and I'll be looking to see how good they do in the tournament.
Yeah, especially, now we got our more heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I can't say now we got the heavy hitters because we have a lot that were in all
spaced
sessions.
out, absolutely.
So now we have more heavy hitters. That's argued the highest volume of heavy hitters coming in this next session. I mean, you heard me rattle off, all those names.
All those names, literally everyone. Yeah,
you have the Arteaga brothers that are, going to be qualing. And, Andy has been picking up rolling again after, the injury that he had last year.
Yeah.
And so then who knows?
It'll be good to see how he's recovered, hopefully well.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. And of course, players are getting situated.
Yeah, there's just a little bit. Yeah, we'll be starting our second qualifying session. And of course, surely some players, off stream here, you're still wrapping up, right? Maybe on, either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Check for yourself, right? If you want to see how the endings of all that goes.
Yeah, because you're allowed to start a last game, but at least before the countdown ended, you were allowed to start games. So maybe, they're on that, final game.
Yeah, maybe they started right at the last second, right? So, it's like, it still counts. It was before time ran out, so.